This is a typical meal served to astronauts aboard Apollo space flights. Oatmeal, sausage, toast, applesauce, and in a special zero-gravity pouch, Tang, the energy breakfast drink. Orange-flavored Tang with rich, natural flavor and more vitamin C than orange juice. Energy Tang for spacemen and Earth families.
Have you ever seen such fascinating striations?
The morning stream. That's the bravest thing I've ever seen a vegetable do.
Oh, it's muted. Hey, everybody. Welcome to TMS. This is the morning stream for Wednesday, February 12th, 2025. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbott. Hi.
Hello. Happy
Good morning.
Hump day.
Hump day. We both got snow. It's like 8 degrees. Right. It's like winter finally. The hell took that so long?
4 degrees here.
Jeez.
Yeah, when I went out for coffee, it was a degree.
Oh my gosh. So is that your car pretty good? I guess it's in the garage all night, so you're pretty insulated. Mm-hmm. It's not like an outdoor one. I always feel bad. Like when I was in my 20s, we always had a car that was parked out in the snow and in the winter, the elements. And that sucked ass because you'd be out there going,
Scrape, yeah. Oh, yeah. The whole, like, having to scrape your windows off, having to do that whole business. What a pain in the butt.
I don't miss it at all. I'll tell you that right now.
No.
I don't miss that one bit. And Alicia, who lives here currently, has nowhere to park, so she has to do that every morning at 6:30 a.m. I feel bad for her.
Is she doing the Lundergaard scrape with the half-inch thick? I love that. Is one of my favorite scenes in Fargo because of you feel his frustration with having to scrape that window and the futility of his little plastic scraper barely making a dent in the quarter-inch thick ice on.
He's so mad, dude. He's so pissed. But then he resigns himself. Like he eventually turns around, kicks around, throws it on the ground, and then he slowly picks it up and then goes back and gets it taken care of.
It's
which
like
is
he realizes I can get mad all I want, but nothing. This is the only way this window is getting scraped.
It's the most Lundergaard freaking move of all time.
It's great.
I watched that again about 2 weeks ago, and
did you?
Never get tired of it. Love that movie.
No.
So good. Classic for a reason. Anyway, we're here. We got a Wednesday lineup for y'all, and we're going to start it with some help with the whole, like, should I talk to my FedEx guy about putting stuff in the rear? Yeah, because he's been putting stuff in the back. It's annoying. If you missed that episode, I don't want to be an ass. He's a really nice guy when I have talked to him. He has done the front before, so I don't know why he doesn't do the back, and I haven't seen him since he did the back last. So I don't, there hasn't been an opportunity for me to even talk to him. But here's what this caller says about all that.
Hey, this is Patrick calling for the morning stream. I just wanted to say a couple episodes back, you guys were talking about your FedEx driver and how you didn't want to, talk to him because he was really nice and you didn't want to come off as mean. I would say as a FedEx driver for 3 years, I'd say about. We don't mind, especially since Kim has made you a driver's favorite house. And they're not going to care that you even leave like a little nice note on the door. Hey, just could you not leave these packages by this side fence? They won't care. They'll be like, oh, okay, and then they'll put it at the front door. And you can also just say you're home all the time too. So, but anyways, love the show though.
Okay, I like it. This is good advice.
Yeah, that's very good.
He made a good point about where we are a house that has. We've been doing this since the pandemic. We just never stopped. But there's always a little snack display at the front that's got chips and packaged cookies and things like that for drivers. Anybody, DoorDash, whoever comes, they're welcome to take stuff. There's a sign that says, "Hey, if you're delivering, please take something."
So impressed you still do that. We stopped doing that. When did we stop doing that? I guess when the pandemic was over.
Yeah,
we stopped doing that.
I thought we would, but Kim's like, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm like, all right, fine. So she's always building karma points, and that's fine. It's what she does. I probably would have stopped because I just can't remember all the stuff I have to do all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not going to remember to go fill up the freaking snack tray on the front porch.
Well, and it's not just a lot of work. It's money to put snacks in there for them all.
Yeah, it's quite. And she does this thing where she'll track sales at Costco or Sam's Club and go. She'll be like, "Oh, those cheese crackers are on sale at Sam's Club." She'll go buy a tray of these things for like pennies on the dollar. Sorry, nickels on the dollar because we're chucking pennies now, I guess.
Right.
Nickel for your thoughts? I don't know. We got to change all our sayings, all our idioms around pennies.
Yeah, if you want my 2 nickels on that subject, then
if you don't have a nickel, then a hey nickel will do. We have to say that.
Must resist impersonation of Arge Squat Goblin.
It's hard, man. It's hard.
It is hard.
Especially when it's ripped from today's headlines. Although,
really
I will
is.
say, it's about the only thing so far I don't have a problem with. It costs us more to print those stupid things than it does to use them. So why are we making them? It's stupid. Get rid of them.
I'm kind of with you. I think he also wants to do away with daylight savings, and he can just do an executive order to do away with daylight savings with a flick of his big fat Sharpie.
Yeah, do it. Just do it and be done, and then you'll have 2 things that I thought were okay that you did. How about that?
Right. But that'll be it. I mean, that's, Yeah,
we're not going to get more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
And to those 3 listeners.
I can't find my phone. Not that I need it for the show, but all of a sudden I'm just looking. It's like, where's my phone?
What does your watch say if you do the little ring thing on it?
I could do that. Yeah. Let's see. What is that? That's
should be the little side, the elongated button that's next to your wheel.
Oh, really? I can.
Well, you hit that, and then
right.
Then it comes up a little ringer. There you go.
Yeah, I hear it.
I can hear it too. I almost pushed mine. That would have been confusing. It's sitting right here.
I hear it. Where is it?
I hear it too. See, the problem. Oh, and the new OS should give you a little radar if it's picking up satellite. So you should have a little green line showing you what direction the phone is.
What a dumb place. I put it on top of my 3D printer. Why would I put it on top of the 3D printer?
He's just in there.
It's dumb.
Sometimes you're just in there and just set it. I do this all the time. I am the worst. I'm absolutely the worst. I forgot to tell you this. I was totally right.
Rainbow Bright says, "I love this content." You may be joking. Maybe you're not joking. But even if you're joking, you're serious because you do love this content. Because A, this is what old people do. They lose their phones then they try and figure out how to find it. And B, this is the level of honesty and reality. This is a reality show, folks.
Yeah, we are the Frogpants Transparency Office. Welcome. You're all welcome here. You're going to see it like it is. Okay. If I spill something on my crotch, you're going to hear about it.
Absolutely, if I hurt my thumb trying to take a stupid,
what'd you do?
I overdid it on supports on a 3D print. So I'm doing a 3D print for a listener. Yeah. A really cool miniature of the 2. What do they call the double TIE fighter thing with the 2? It's got the 2. What's this? TIE bomber? Is that TIE bomber? It's a TIE bomber.
It is. Is it? Well, I know what you mean though. With the 2 things,
with the 2 things,
nacelle looking things on them, like the
right there in the in our Discord is the photo.
Hootie says bomber. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, that's not. Yeah, the bomber. It's not the one that. Or is it the one that Vader flies? No? No,
Vader doesn't fly. He just flies Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. But it's got the curved-in panels like Darth Vader's TIE Fighter as opposed to the cheap.
Gotcha.
The cheap ones, the cheap flat ones that they give to the regular stormtroopers.
Oh, these are the ones that are dropping bombs on the worm asteroid in 2, right? In the Empire, where they're all down there hiding in before they...
Oh.
Remember that with the big worm puppet?
Must be, because they're definitely dropping bombs.
And they're going cocoon, 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 and they're down there hiding. It's pretty great. I love that scene.
Anyway, so I'm 3D printing those, and I'm actually 3D printing the 2 little cockpit tubes. And I've been having a devil of a time getting the things oriented on the plate so that what you try to avoid, A, is that you don't put stuff on the printing plate so that when the thing lifts up to drop some resin, drop the goo resin, but then push it back down to cure another layer and then lift it up to drop some goo resin, etc. That the surface area isn't something that will cause it to pull right off the plate. So you've got to A, think about that when you're arranging your items on the plate.
Sure.
Second thing is, wherever it's going to be attaching to the plate, you're going to have supports, and the supports are going to leave little tiny pock marks There's hardly any way to get around it on a large item. Small items, little gaming miniatures, you can get away with having very little connection between the supports and the model. But on something like this, it's got to be pretty big.
Right.
Well, I overdid it on the supports, and I've got this mass of a really well printed middle part, but then this impossible to pry off set of supports that I'm like using big fat pliers to try and break them off without breaking the part. I'm using a little metal spatula to kind of gently separate the two.
Yeah.
And at one point it just basically goes right into my thumb as I'm trying to pry part of it off. So I've like chipped my thumbnail. I can't really show it on screen. But,
but that's badass. You did a thing where you hurt your hand doing a cool, badass thing. I hurt my hand last week trying to take a cracker into a can of beans and slicing up my hand on the edge of the thing. That's pathetic.
So like a jagged edge can of beans?
Yeah, I told this story on Core.
What are you, a hobo by the train tracks?
I told the story on Core and I forgot to tell it here, but while Kim was out of town, I had a can of baked beans and it was down to about half from the first time I ate whatever I ate. And I took it out of the fridge, took off the tin foil, and I went, I'm just in the mood to just take a cracker and just like get some out of there. So I'm just like, eh. And then later I'm like, why do I have these like cat scratches on my hand? Why am I bleeding from my thumb? I couldn't remember doing it.
You're scraping your hand from...
Exactly. How stupid is that? You're over there making a cool print.
Yeah.
Yours is a craft.
You've got a bowl. You can like actually dump the beans into a bowl.
100% I could have.
Like you were... I'm just...
No, you're not wrong, dude. You're not wrong to have all these questions. Look,
Kim was in the house at the time, right?
No, this is while she was gone. This is during her trip.
It was while she was gone. Okay.
Yeah,
oh my gosh.
It's while she was out.
We're cracking open cans of beans and dipping saltines.
The first time I had them, I did make sort of a meal out of it. I had a little, I had some beans on a plate. I didn't do any of this before, and I had it nicely arranged. This is like 3 days ahead, and then 3 days later, I'm like, that sounds good. Then beans there in the fridge, and I take them out. It's cold. I take a cracker, and then I don't think about the edges at all, and now I'm bleeding everywhere. Probably got bean juice in my cuts.
Oh my gosh,
the whole thing.
Yeah.
It is so stupid, dude.
Next, we're gonna watch Scott eat sardines using a pointy stick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It was so dumb. So you're making
the end of his bindle.
You're getting like a craftsman wound. I'm getting a dumbass wound is what mine is.
Well, it's still pretty dumbass of me because of the massive number of supports. I was like, oh no, not enough. I have to put support level, and there's a setting. There's like low, medium, high, and ultra.
Yeah.
And ultra basically just wraps the model with supports. But it guarantees that, you can put a bunch of light supports, which cause less pockmarking, and still get a nice clean shape. But in this case, I'm putting marks in the thing by using pliers to pry the supports off, because my fingernails as I'm pulling supports off are right into the side of the TIE fighter. So I get it. I gotta figure out it better.
So when you get the pockmarks out, can you sand down pockmarks? Is that a way to do it in post?
Pretty minor. So 99 times out of 100. Whatever you're doing with this model, you're going to put a layer of primer on there before you start painting it. These things, the way they come out of the printer, won't hold paint. They're very slick, plastic, resin, whatever. So they won't really hold much paint. So you've got to hit them with a layer of primer.
Gotcha.
And the primer does a great job of really covering up those pockmarks. You can't really tell.
Calhoun asked if a knife would work. Could you use a knife? That sounds
like a hot knife.
A hot knife.
Could.
There you go.
Yeah.
That sounds like trouble, man.
Yeah, you saw what I did to my thumb. Do we really want to introduce searing metal into the equation?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, Domo's back to the cans real quick. I got to answer this.
Do I use a hot knife heater, by the way, Dr. Calhoun?
Yeah, how do you do that? How do you get a knife hot? You
have to use a hot knife heater, apparently, is what you use.
Is that what that is, a hot knife heater?
Hot knife heater. Because I'm playing off of his disdain for the term hot water heater.
I know. I was trying to find the acronym and then the extra
HDH.
heater. Yeah, HDH heater. There you go. Now he's
HK, hot knife heater.
Yeah, heater. Take that, Dr. Calhoun. So Ambassador Domo says, do you open your cans correctly? Blades should cut into the side of the can and the top of the can. So I used a manual one, like a clamp it on the side and twist it. I don't know why that isn't enough to not cut me. And also, I didn't feel it while I was doing it. This is all later. So while I'm doing it, it's not hurting. That's the kind of cuts that are so hairline that you don't feel them. It's not like a paper cut that stings immediately. That's all ragged or whatever.
But your can opener, that I didn't hear if you answered the question. Does your can opener cut into the side or the top of the can?
Well, good question. I don't know, because it does. It's a clamp on the side with the little grinder wheel. How do those work? I don't know what those do.
I mean, if it depends on where the blade is and how it's positioned. So newer can openers, they all have that little grindy thing in a blade. You just got to figure out, is the blade pointed this way or down? And the ones that are pointed this way are much better now for, I'm opening this can of beans. I'm going to take some beans out and put them in a bowl like an adult.
A normal person.
And then I can actually take that can lid and put it back on top, and it'll stay somewhat sealed, and I can put it back in the fridge.
Yeah, that's actually probably not the kind of can opener we have, but I thought ours was kind of new, so I don't know. It feels like it aims down, so it's cutting into the rim, not the top, but into the metal of the rim. Or else, why would I cut myself? That had to have been it. I don't know. Bobby, come in here next week and let's have science on it. Let's do it.
Dr. Kellen, he's talking about the hot knife thing too, and he's like, yeah, I hold a lighter up to a blade for a few seconds and it works for a couple seconds. For filament, that would work great because getting supports off with. I actually haven't been known to. I've got a great air. What is that? A heat gun.
Mm.
And so, and I can't remember. It was a Pacholik. Somebody. Generous donation of a foot pedal that basically just you plug the heat gun into the foot pedal plug and plug the foot pedal plug into your wall or your, in this case, a surge protector. And then all I have to do is just put my foot down on the floor on the thing and hold the part up there, lift my foot, and it stops doing the heating. BioCal, that was you, Preston. I thought
it was Preston. Okay, cool. I was gonna say that smells it smells like a Pacholik thing, but.
It does, but no, it was BioCal, and it was super generous of him. And it's been great. It's been perfect because now when I have these noise canceling headphones on, I don't inadvertently leave the heat gun blasting hot air at my popcorn seal or the drop ceiling.
That's great. That's actually great because just up the road here this morning, somebody, there was a fire people out in front, and I'm like, what's going on? And I know this one kid that lives there, he walks dogs past us all the time. I was like, what happened? Apparently, somebody left a candle burning all night. Forgot about it, and then their kitchen counter or their kitchen table caught on fire, and no one's hurt. Everyone's good, but it was gnarly, scary.
Yeah, that's a good. Flesh cutters. I know these. I've got a set of these, and you know what I use them for? I use them for cutting
flesh,
cutting filament. I didn't even think about using those for cutting the supports off on a resin print. Oh, that'd be smart.
Use it on your victims. Cut their flesh. Right. What is it for? Like animal hides? Like animal hides type stuff, or what is it?
No. Let me grab them.
Okay, I've never heard of that before. We have some upstairs that are used for leather cutting, but I assume there's something as strong as that or stronger, maybe.
No, these are.
But when they call them flesh cutters.
Flush cutters, not flesh cutters. This is a flesh cutter. It's just basically.
Okay.
It's got a blade that's flush. Like the cutting surface is the very bottom of the cut, so you can go right up to the thing you want to protect and cut and take off the part you don't want to protect. So like when we were doing, you remember the models, like putting together models as kids, and you'd get the sprue that holds the little plastic pieces on, and you'd wiggle them back and forth and pop off the little pieces, but they'd always have that little dimple of something on there. This will cut those off and not leave any. It'll be flush.
Nice.
Hence the name, with the surface of the doodad.
That's cool. I wish I'd have had that when I was a kid. I didn't have that.
You and me both. I know.
I just twisted them and
Yeah, and then we had to use a little sander or a pair of our mom's sewing scissors or something to get that little outie.
Yeah, and then
take off the little outie.
Then you'd hope she never knew you took them, because if she did, you were dead if your mom knew you took the sewing scissors.
Yeah.
What was it with sewing? You know what? There are three things in the 80s we were taught to believe. Quicksand was everywhere.
Right.
Number one.
Right.
Number two, all candy had razor blades in it.
Right. Or Tylenol or something.
Yeah. Any of those things.
Right.
And then third, mom's sewing scissors are from the Lord himself and are meant to be sacrosanct and never touched by any human beings.
Exactly. Yes.
What the hell, dude? Yeah, if you used them on paper, my mom would seriously scream. She gets so mad.
I get it. I've got a pair of really nice, I bought a 5-pack of Amazon Basics, really nice scissors. They look like this.
Oh yeah, look at those. Nice.
These are so freaking great. And I've ruined one pair because I used the blade to cut the wrong thing. So now I probably used it to try and cut a piece of filament or something. And so now one of my pairs is like cuts really well as long as I only use this little bit of it.
Yeah.
But if I open it wide and cut, it's like right about here. There's a little stupid.
Oh.
And I've tried sharpening it. I've used everything to try and fix it, and I couldn't do it.
So they're probably, Raven's arguing for my mom's side of this thing. You're probably right that they are, clearly, they're a special breed of scissor. You want to take care of them. And it was wrong for me as a kid to try to use it on a comic book cutout or something.
Yeah.
But I just couldn't understand why those above all other things. It felt like if you dinged the car, they'd go, it's all right, it'll buff out. Or if you drop something in the kitchen,
exactly.
no big deal. We can replace that plate, big deal. But then touch those scissors, and the FBI was at the door, it felt like.
Yeah. You were grounded for life messing with those pinking shears.
Such a weird thing. Yeah. Speaking of cars with dings in it, we got this text from Dan, who wants to give some clarity to that car I keep bringing up that my dad brought home from that LA auction with a bullet hole in it and blood all over the seat and all that.
Yeah.
And how I just could not understand how this was not impounded or police didn't have it somewhere or something like that. Couldn't understand it. Still to this day. So he says this, and this gives me some ideas. He says, hey, Scott, I'm sure someone has followed up on this by now. Actually, no. In regard to the bloody car from the auction, once the police investigation is done and the insurance company writes the car off as a loss, it is sold at auction to reclaim some cash. They mark them as biohazard on the listing. Says my dad also used to buy and sell cars from the auto auctions. Te quiero, Dan. So that makes sense. There's a way to do this. If you're done with it, you've done your investigation. It was probably an obvious murder because I could tell you how the guy was shot and where the gun would have been and where the bullet ended up. Like, it's not forensically hard to tell you what happened in this car.
Right. You don't have to be Dexter to figure out this CSI.
Yeah, but it felt so weird having that in my garage and telling my friends, guys, come in here, you guys see this is a freaking bullet wound. There's like blood all over the place. The chair was soaked in it. And my dad was like, quit showing your friends the car. I'm like, but Dad, it's cool. There's a murder and stuff in there.
Exactly. I want to show them all the biohazard all over the inside.
And I'd show them how the bullet was still in the little quarter panel on the opposite side, and you can shake the door and hear it go in there and stuff. So anyway, that helps me understand. So thank you there, Dan. Finally, Brian, you had a big mystery date planned yesterday. Give us the skinny.
I did. Yeah. So for those of you cheapskates who don't pay for and listen to the pre-show, just kidding. We love you. Yesterday during the pre-show, by the way, we got rave reviews for the pre-show yesterday in TMS chatter in the Discord.
I know.
Somebody said it was the best pre-show we've ever had.
I got 3 messages on split up somewhere on social media about it. I got a Facebook direct message saying yesterday's I don't know what yesterday's pre-show was so great, but apparently it was great. So
I think we stopped doing the regular show and just do a pre-show.
Yeah, 10-minute pre-show.
Save ourselves some time.
And we're out. Yep, sure, why not?
Good. Yeah.
Somebody said you guys should put it up on the main feed so everybody can eat it. And I'm thinking, well, if we have this many people saying that, maybe I'll put that little chunk out just for fun.
Maybe that one, yeah. But anyway, so pre-show yesterday I talked about how I was pulling a fast one on Tina. And normally the second Tuesday of the month is Puzzle Pint. And it was Puzzle Pint last night. But it was also a concert, Howard Jones and ABC at the Mission Ballroom, and I decided to make that our mystery date for the month, and I decided to make it a secret mystery date. So I told her that we were going to the Left Hand Brewery, which is basically the entrance to the Left Hand Brewery is 30 feet from the entrance to the Mission Ballroom. You walk into one, then you walk straight across and go into the Mission Ballroom afterwards. But she believed that that we were just doing Puzzle Pint. We were meeting the same couple that we always meet for Puzzle Pint, etc. And I even went so far as to say, oh yeah, they said it's a special Puzzle Pint, so the only thing you need to bring tonight is a pencil, so no go bag. I think I talked about that too.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was all going great. So we hop in the car, we start driving down there. She's even driving, like it's great. She's driving us to her own mystery date because her car is 4-wheel drive and the snow is starting to come down a little bit. And we get to the area that's got the brewery and Mission Ballroom, and there's a guy out front saying, "Yep, parking is $25." And at this point, I'm like, "Oh, this is kind of where the secret has to be revealed." And it was cold enough last night that I did not want to pay $10 and walk a quarter of a mile from down the road. I was happy to pay the $25. But Tino's like, "Oh no, we're just going to the brewery." He's like, "Oh, okay. Well, if you're going to the brewery, then you can park down here." I'm like, and there's like 2-hour parking or 1-hour parking. I'm like, no, we'll pay. She's like, no, we'll go down and park that way. And I'm like, no, let me just pay. Here's my card, dude. We're paying for parking. He's like, all right, yeah, just go. Or he says, because that's when it had to come out. How did it come out? It was he's like, "Well, no, if you're only going to be here for a couple hours." I'm like, "No, I'm surprising my wife with the concert tonight, so I'll pay for parking." And she goes, "Oh."
Yeah, because nobody's in on the thing except you, and it's
right,
like,
exactly. And it's like, I did not even think about the whole parking issue, that was really going to be when the rubber meets the road, and the secret has to be divulged.
That's funny.
But it was, we've seen Howard Jones. We were figuring it out that at least 5 or 6 times, this being the 5th or 6th time we've seen him, every time he's come through Denver, going all the way back to the Dream into Action tour. She wasn't with me at the time. It's before I met her, but I saw him at Red Rocks back when he had a dude that was just on stage to dance and act out all the songs.
Oh, geez.
I can't remember the guy's name, but it was like part of his stage show was just this dude. He'd do like all these costume changes. He would do the "What is love?" or the "Don't try to live your life one day," etc. Anyway, that guy doesn't perform with them anymore.
Sure.
But we've seen him do acoustic tours where it's just him and a piano. We've seen him do full band tours. We've seen him do smaller, just him and a drummer kind of thing. This was full band, and the bassist was actually the dude from Kajagoogoo. So part of the way through the show, Howard Jones did a cover of Too Shy Shy by Kajagoogoo, which dude is only known for doing 2 or 3 covers. I interviewed Howard Jones on Coverville about cover songs, and we talked about why he's very selective, why he's very picky about the cover songs that he does. He will basically, if you listen to the interview, he'll basically only do covers of songs that he truly agrees with the sentiment of. Oh, and in this case, I guess he just agrees that woman was too shy.
That song also, if you could lie to me and say, "Scott, Howard Jones wrote that song," and I would believe you. It sounds like something he would do. Do you know what I mean? It's just got kind of his vibe to it. Yeah.
Well, dang it. Now I have to figure out how to retroactively convince you that that's an original by Howard Jones.
I would believe it.
He anyway, so he was the headliner. ABC came out second, but first was Richard Blade. If you're from California, you know Richard Blade from K-Rock, Sounds of the 80s, great radio station. Whenever I went to California to visit my grandparents, I would take one of those cases of 10 Maxell 90-minute tapes and record however many hours of K-Rock that was and bring them back with me to Denver to listen to over and over and over again. The first time I ever heard Wham was them introducing Wake Me Up Before You Go on K-Rock.
Oh, wow.
And recorded on tape. If I could find that
they're
tape,
pretty legendary. Everybody,
they're so legendary. And Richard Blade is, was a DJ with them forever. And then he moved over to Sirius XM, where he's on their new wave channel, which is called First Wave. And so he came out and actually did like 45 minutes of telling stories of the beginnings of new wave and how this guy was in this band, and he was influenced by seeing this other band at a concert and said, oh my God, I could do that, and went home and did his tape sequencer and his Moog synthesizer and blah blah, basically, and that person became Vince Clarke from Depeche Mode and Yaz and Erasure, et cetera, et cetera. So
Sure.
it was actually really, really cool. Now the people behind us, it was four older ladies, our age ladies.
Sure. The Howard Jones fan base from the 80s, sure.
You'd think, but I question that.
Okay.
Because it sounds like they only knew like 2 or 3 things from the 80s, and somehow these tickets landed in their lap. I can't imagine they paid money knowing so little about what they were coming for. But they were, during the music that plays before anybody comes out, they're singing along and they're getting every word wrong, or they're wire, this is what fire, do. It's like, geez Louise. And then ABC, is about to come on, and there's this like little promotional thing that they're showing, cuts from all of their music videos, but to an instrumental track behind it. And one of them starts singing, oh, I love this song, Stand or Fall, and she's singing along to it, and I wanted to turn around and say, that's the fix. That's not ABC. But I just couldn't do it. And it was like they were just sometimes just making noise to make noise. Like they knew the beginnings of some of these Howard Jones songs of like the doot 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 doot. And that's what they're singing. They're like singing at the top of their lungs, not even the lyrics, but the bass line or the keyboards or something like that. Exactly. It's like, oh, come on.
That would drive me crazy. Yeah.
It kind of did. I did a few turnaround and looks when they were being particularly obnoxious, and they would stop for a while.
Yeah.
But,
it's not like Alamo Draft House where you can call like the music police. And
right, exactly. Yeah. Let me hit the little button and put a little card there. Yeah. And people sing at concerts, great, totally fine. And people sing badly at concerts, completely good with that. But when you're at the top of your lungs singing over the introductory light piano introduction of a song, it's like, come on, now you're being obnoxious.
Yeah. I can just see that driving you absolutely up a tree.
Absolutely bonkers, yeah. And yeah. So
I saw Howard Jones in 1986 for his, was it 1 to 1? Is the album?
1 to 1, yeah. Is that the one with You Know I Love You, Don't You?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's the title or the first track on that album. I loved that record. Anyway, I went with my buddy Bill. And that's the concert where I bought a shirt that was too small for me for $38, and I was so mad because I got it home and it didn't fit. I was so pissed.
Because you can't take it back. It's not like you can say, "Oh, I'll just go back tomorrow and get the right size." No, they're gone.
Yep.
That merch table is gone.
Yeah, and that's the concert where it was raining. It was in Park City. It was raining. It was outdoor. That's fine, but everybody had like parkas and stuff on, and that was the concert where I witnessed. I can't even say what I saw out loud.
Oh gosh, really?
But I saw some. I'll just say this. I saw some pervy guy do a nasty thing to someone else that wasn't consenting to what they did. It was bad. It was the first time I'd ever witnessed anything like that in my life. And I remember just going, ah!
All right, can we? Well, we gotta.
I can give you an idea.
Use it in food terms. Pretend he's a chef serving a customer at a restaurant.
Okay, he walks up. Here you go.
Did he put a hot dog on their arm or something?
It's a little worse than that. I like your scenario, so let's do it. So you're in the restaurant. You don't actually. Let's say the server you're talking to, everything's fine. It's a person that walks up behind you, who's carrying. You're at a steak house, and one of the things they're famous for is they sell them even separately. They sell these bottles of horseradish. Oh, they're so good. The horseradish sauce they sell there. And imagine one of the table cleaner people who you've never seen in your life. You don't even see them coming. They're behind you. They come up behind you and just go and squirt a bunch of it on your back.
Oh no! Really?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for not using mayonnaise.
Yeah, I could have. It could have been a little bit worse, but
gravy.
I'm trying. I remember I was absolutely freaking horrified. And me and my friend Bill, we broke from the concert for a minute, went and weaseled our way out of there and found a guard and told on the guy.
Yeah. Good.
And by the time we were able to weave our way back through the crowd, he was gone. So whatever they did it while we were gone. So there was never any kind of confrontation with us. But for the rest of the concert, I'm just going, okay, come on, Howard Jones, let's go. Okay, your song, I love this one. Okay, you're singing it. Guy with the thing, doing a horrible thing. Like I just could not get it out of my mind.
Right. Yeah, that would taint the whole concert for me.
It really wrecked it. So we ended up, and then I bought that shirt that was too small. So the whole thing just kind of sucked.
Oh,
and I have a bad taste in my mouth. But it wasn't Howard Jones' fault. Hojo, way to go. I'd see you again today if I could.
Dude is looking, you put up a photo while I was talking about him, and that's his I'm cute, easygoing lifestyle. Yeah, wearing a hat. And look at all my hair coming out of the center of my head. Yep. He is starting to look now like John Lithgow.
Yep, he does. Look, he is right here, looking all Lithgow. Look at him. He looks like a priest voting in the conclave right there.
He does. Yeah.
Well, anyway.
How am I going to get the votes? I want the votes.
That movie's so good. Y'all, we're going to dive right into Tadpooly Feud. I warned you via the text or in the chat. I'll warn you again. If you want to be a part of this, then you're going to want to be fourth caller. And that means on the Discord, giving me a direct message. Friend me if you haven't already. That probably means you won't get in today if you aren't already friending me. But if you want to be our fourth caller and participate, you can. I'm going to call Dunaway right now. And that didn't work. What happened? It just dry fired. Hold on. There we go.
Which is not what happened.
No, I wish that guy would have dry fired. I wish if I could do it all over again. Well, I couldn't have done anything.
I mean that server at the steak place.
I just remember Bill and I just went, like that.
Yeah. Oh, I would too. That is not something that you expect to see. Maybe at a Guar show.
Sure.
But not at Howard Jones.
Not Howard Jones. Not at all. Yeah. Or a Howard Johnson for that matter.
Howard Johnson.
All right, check this out, y'all. Brian Dunaway sidling up to the side of his horse and showing us all what's what and who's who. He's here to play a game. Hi, Brian. How are you?
Oh, hi, Scott and Brian. Have you seen my horseradish?
No, but I never want to see your horseradish if you can help that.
No, please.
Mad respect to anybody who has that kind of bodily control.
Yeah. My gosh, I know. Yeah, what?
I don't know what he did. I don't even want to think about it because it did seem very spontaneous. You know what I mean?
I've been waiting all day.
Just guys are gross. No, I mean,
even the guy 2 doors down from Hannibal Lecter had to work up to it.
Right. He started as soon as she got there. Hold on a second.
Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Well, that's good stuff. Danaway, you're here. We're going to play. Oh, I got to add a thing. All right, so let's see who's fourth. We got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like to cover you with gel. Like to cover you with gel.
Yeah.
Like to cover you with gel so we can be one and we
That's
can
basically,
be one
that's all I could do. The whole rest of the thing. That's all the songs.
Think of songs. Yeah.
And then buy a dumb shirt that didn't fit. Anyway, hi, this is Juniper on with us. Hi, Juniper. How are you?
Oh. Yay.
Yay, you're fourth. How do you feel being fourth again?
Pretty fun.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Awesome, dude.
Excellent.
You've been on I think once before, right? It's our second time.
So, yeah.
At least once. Twice, bro.
Twice, maybe. Yeah, maybe this is your third. Either way, I feel good about your chances today. What, Dunaway? What'd you say?
Is it two-peat?
Oh, two-peat. Two-peat.
A two-peat.
I like a two-peat. Brian, let's explain the rules and what the winnings could be today.
I will do exactly that. It's time to play the Tadpooly Feud. I've surveyed the tadpole on some nerdy topics, and Scott and Brian are going to have to predict the answers that they gave us. It is their job to see how many of those answers they can guess. Juniper, your job is more important than ever because you are going to be working with either Scott or Brian, and if your team wins, you get a prize package. Well, that includes Friends versus Friends and Proteus.
Ooh, Proteus is an all-time... It's amazing. I love Proteus. Proteus is the best description for it would be like a throwback kind of first-person shooter in the style of Doom, but it's done with this mix of 3D and 2D and retro and not amazing music. Weapons are insane. It is so much fun. It's one of my favorites of these ever. So
very cool.
high praise.
Okay.
I don't know anything about Friends versus Friends, but the other thing is really good. So
Nice. Well, sorry that game has been pulled. We'll give you something else. No, just kidding.
Shoot.
You're going to get those if your team wins, and we got to figure out who's going to win by figuring out who's going to be your partner in this thing. To do that, we need you guys to put your hands on your buzzards and answer this question. We asked 453 Tadpoolers, what sci-fi or fantasy series would you like to see turned into Scott?
I want to see the Expanse turned into a movie.
Okay, show me the
That's a good one.
Expanse. On the board, but
You better do the full
where you
question.
thought I'm going to do the full question for Dunaway. That's damn good points, though, to start with.
Yeah.
That was really good points. Jeez.
Brian, here's the full question. What sci-fi or fantasy series would you like to see turned into a hole at your local miniature golf spot?
Oh shit! It's so not even close to what I thought. Holy crap!
I'm telling you, boy, that question took a turn.
Yes,
I would love to smack some warp speed right into my miniature golf. So I think Star Trek, of course. I think
Star Trek. Show me Star Trek. Number 4 answer
further
on the
down
board. Well
than I would have
done.
thought.
And
Yeah, good
but
job,
that does
man.
mean you get control of the board and you get Juniper as a partner. You guys can figure this all out. There's some great answers up here.
Sure.
I mean, you get a little teleporter zound when you hit the cup. You like transport the whole 18. Oh, I love that.
Listen,
Yeah.
this may look like a regular Tadpooly feud question, but this is really what I'm going to use to open my own pop culture sci-fi fantasy miniature golf course.
Your brain
It is going to be
story.
the biggest. It is going to be it's going to be the biggest and best miniature golf spot ever.
I'm shocked the
Every
Expanse is
hole,
on there.
yeah, I am too.
It'd be amazing. Would love it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Juniper.
Oh, you'd have a wormhole like in Star Trek. You'd have an actual wormhole. Oh man, there's so many good ideas. It would pop out over at DS9. Then you got to do a bunch
That
of
was
DS9 shit.
a lot of people put DS9. I just lumped it into Star Trek. Yeah,
Yeah, it's great.
Okay.
brilliant.
All right,
Yep.
what do you got?
What you got, Juniper? Anything in the chamber?
The only sci-fi series that I've ever watched, really, other than Star Trek and some other, the one I really like, Stargate.
Stargate. Yeah, and it would like close up right as you get through the hole. It's like
that'd be cool. Or it would be
Event Horizon.
like the windmill, and it would open and close, like the iris would open and close, and you had to time it just right.
I love that.
You got Tilk over there with his mouth open, and he's like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
love it.
All right, I love it. All right, let's see if that's on there. Show me Stargate.
Yeah.
Number 6 answer on the board. A lot of people thinking like you, Juniper, about that being a great.
What is the
great
top
hole.
stuff, though? That is weird.
Right. Yeah.
I think I know one.
I have a couple of them in mind. Juniper, do you have any more?
No, not really.
I mean, come on. I mean,
Keep
there's
thinking.
got to be some Star Wars there, right? I mean, nobody
Oh,
does
yeah,
sci-fi
yeah.
/ fantasy better than Star
I don't know why that
Wars.
didn't even come to mind.
Probably
It's
All right.
terrible that didn't even come to mind, to be honest.
You got Darth Vader over there breathing the ball out every time it gets near it. Force shifts it out of there.
I like it.
All right. You guys going with Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Sure. Show me Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 5.
Wow.
Specifically, people put the trench run would be the
Yeah, that makes
perfect
sense.
miniature golf hole.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
You know
'Cause
what would be
you're trying
cool?
to get it into the little port at the very end. And
Right.
Here's what would be cool. You have a Sarlacc pit, but the player has to wait 1,000 years for their ball to come back out.
Oh my god.
That's right. I say, it's just as fun. Just make it a week.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, your ball fell in the Sarlacc pit. You can come back 1 week from today and continue your game.
Yep. But you have to say Boba Fett before you do it. Yeah. I think
Where it
that's
will
great.
slowly digest for 7 days.
Oh, man. All right. You guys are killing it. What else you got?
Yeah,
So
15 to 7 score right now. By the way,
I'm curious, Juniper. Let's talk for a second about this. I noticed it is sci-fi / fantasy. So like Lord of the Rings. Could you have like Lord of the Holes? I mean, is it something like that,
my
or is it
nickname in
sci-fi / fantasy?
Lord of the Holes. Jeez.
I don't know.
Yeah, Lord of the Holes.
I don't like that.
I see where you're going.
Got a
but-
big old Sauron down there, watching you while you're trying to putt.
It's not
You
bad.
can do it.
Yeah, you're trying to get the
don't
ring
know.
to Mordor and
the
you got,
Mordor.
like,
Yep. Get it. Go up the side of the mountain and drop the ball into the pit, into the fires of Mordor. Yeah.
But there's one fantasy series that really leans into the ball thing, right? There's a whole sport involved around it.
Minority Report. Oh no, I'm sorry.
Minority Report. Perfect. Now, it's not a bad idea, actually.
That's not too bad. That's not too bad.
I'm not trying to give any answers away. So no.
Oh, I love it though. You're rolling these wooden balls down a thing, and it's predicting a murder. Oh no, I love that.
I'm thinking right now, and I cannot think of anything.
How about a snitch? You gotta chase the snitch.
Oh
maybe?
yeah, Harry Potter stuff.
Harry Potter's.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think?
How many answers are you planning on giving Scott for his turn?
Yeah.
Give me.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like there's more Harry Potter fans than Lord of the Rings fans.
Well, that's them. There's fighting words, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah. I know what you mean too.
Yeah, do Harry Potter.
So
then. Seems like a strong one.
I think Pottersville is the way to go, right? I think the Harry Potter.
The Harry Peter.
You could totally do a Quidditch thing with the hole, all that sort of thing. All right, show me Harry Potter.
Oh my gosh! So
number
the fantasy.
21.
The fantasy is leaning where? Okay, all right.
Yeah,
So that tells us a lot.
Surprisingly low in the list. I would have thought it would have been higher too, because I think it does open it up for a lot of things. But yeah.
Can I ask
we learned something?
Quick judge question?
Of course.
Is it at all safe to assume that this includes like the Tadpooly goofiness of like, oh, it's not really a sci-fi series, but that's what got voted on. Do you know what I'm saying? Is that?
I mean, every question in the feud has that risk. Like, is the Tadpooly going to say Debbie does Dallas?
Yeah.
And somebody did.
But you know what? I'll let you both off the hook and say that all of the 11 top answers fit the question perfectly.
Okay.
And are not no jokey answers here.
All right. Okay. I'm going to go with Dune. I have to think Dune's on.
You stole my answer.
Yeah. Worms and all that shit and dunes and stuff.
Sure. All right. Show me Dune.
Number 2.
Yeah, one big sand trap.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh shit, that's not good. Yeah. Everything that could be the subtitle to those books. One big sand trap, because it just f's with the whole thing. Just f's everybody up. Spice must flow. All right, then I will say I'm thinking about the tubes in Futurama. That could be some fun, and I love Futurama. It's sci-fi. I'm really nervous about this one, but I'm hoping it gets points. So let's do it.
Right. I mean, seriously, as you're thinking about these, wouldn't it just be the perfect miniature golf place to have all these? Like, everything
incredible.
We're describing would be amazing.
Bender insulting you constantly, it'd be great.
You can almost give them all their own course, your own 9 holes
well,
each.
You could, That'd
be amazing.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, show me Futurama.
Ooh,
Number 10 answer on the
good
board.
Points.
15 total points for Scott to Brian and Juniper's 15. That's
you guys
a close game, folks.
Yeah, it's very close. All right, we have a lot of science fiction. In fact, it's almost entirely science fiction. If you count, I mean, Dune and Star Wars,
the top and
fantasy,
the
bottom. So it makes me think everybody leaned very heavily that way. I'm going to say you guys missed out on saying Lord of the Rings, so I'll say Lord of the Rings. Let's do Lord of the Rings.
All right, show me Lord of the Rings. Number 3, there's a little bit of fantasy for you. That's taking Scott up to 22 points to Brian and Juniper's 15.
Man, for the life of me, I can't think of what one would be. Jeez.
Yeah.
All the number ones are used that I would have thought would be number 1.
I'm trying to think what would be just sci-fi golf in space. I'm trying to think of what I'm missing.
Yeah.
Right.
This is tricky. Okay, so we lumped all the Star Treks. All the Star Wars are lumped.
Dwarf on golf is what it is. We all know it, yes.
All right.
Tim Conway was up to his knees.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm gonna assume the Tadpools. I'm gonna assume somebody put Mad Max Universe or Fury Road or something up here. So I'm gonna say that.
That would have been my second.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Sure. All right. Reset the counter. Show me Mad Max Universe.
You guys let me down.
22 in the list. Yeah.
Damn. And series could be video games, right?
Series can be video games.
I just thought of that. All right. Go ahead, you guys. See what you got.
Do you think Waterworld's going to be up there, just big one water trap?
Oh, shit.
Oh, no.
I think
I love that one. That's good.
I like it. The other big sci-fi series that I had growing up is Battlestar Galactica, and I'm trying to think of how that would fit in here. Geez, I'm trying to think what would be the top sci-fi though. I mean, is there something clever that we're missing? There's got to be something clever.
Maybe it's Baltar's strapped down with his legs spread apart, and you're just trying to hit him in the balls.
Oh my God.
Baltar. It's,
Yeah.
it's right there.
Yeah, you're just trying to get him hurting.
Golf Baltar.
Golf Baltar.
There's Warhammer.
Warhammer? Okay, Warhammer, yeah.
Oh, dude, I would play that.
Yeah.
I would effing never leave that hole. That's great.
I like never leave that hole. That's what he said.
Ice Storm.
Oh my God.
Right.
Ice Storm.
Jeez. That's amazing.
Let's go with some Warhammer. I'm down with it.
Yeah.
All right, sounds good. Show me Warhammer. No, strike
come
number
on.
2. Number 24, Warhammer 40K. Yeah.
Okay, well, we're talking video games, so if I were doing that, I'd make one based on Portal, and it's a series, and it's
that's smart.
sci-fi,
Yeah.
but I'm nervous about the game
yeah.
connection. So I'm going to say Portal because if that was even possible, it'd be amazing to have all these portals and balls going different
It'll be
ways.
perfect,
That
right?
would-
Yeah.
That would
Like
be
you knock
really
it into the orange one, it comes out the blue one, and
Yeah.
so cool.
Let's go Portal.
All right.
Oh, you know what? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Show me Portal.
Damn it!
I know. Yeah, surprised me too.
In the hole, in the blue one, I'm loving
Portal
it.
29. Again, surprisingly lower than I would have expected.
I think people just aren't thinking of video games. I think they're
Yeah.
focused
But
on
when
movies
you-
and TV.
But it did make me think, Juniper, when Scott said blue, I'm thinking, hey, what about the Doctor Who?
Ooh.
Oh.
Is it how small are those holes or how large are those holes?
Yeah.
In that TARDIS, you're
You could have the
shooting
whole
into.
court. You could have the entire park in the TARDIS. You could do the
Yeah,
whole
you
thing
could
in there.
you could do this at the end of the universe. Yeah.
I like
Right.
that.
Yeah. All right. Going with
What do
Doctor
you
Who.
think, Juniper?
Oh, yep.
Yeah, that works.
That works. Juniper's so
Doesn't
done with
sound-
this topic.
Doesn't sound convinced.
Did we already do Battlestar Galactica?
You did, and you got a
not
buzz.
do.
I thought you did.
Are you more prone to
Can't
Battlestar
remember.
Galactica as opposed to?
Did they already do BSG? I thought they
Doctor?
did. I thought
No,
they, okay.
PSG has not
I
been
don't
guessed
think we
yet.
did.
No. I guess you just talked about it.
Let's do that one and keep the other one
Yeah.
in the back pocket.
All right.
I like
Excellent. Good choice. All right. Show me Battlestar Galactica.
Bears.
Number
it.
9.
Good call.
Bears. Battlestar Galactica.
That put you up by 2, man.
Exactly. 24 points for Brian and
Yeah.
Juniper, and 22 for Scott.
Golly,
2
this is a
answers
really
left on the
close
board.
game.
I'm telling you, man. Jeez. But the good news is we got 2 strikes each between the two of us, and we got to either get the top and number 8
This
or run the board.
I have another one.
Okay.
Got to give us.
It could either be a hit or a miss, kind of Firefly.
Oh, Firefly.
Firefly. Yeah.
shit.
We got a lot of Firefly fans inside. They're always just
Yeah.
waiting. It's just like any sci-fi question. It's like, we got to load it up. Let's
Yeah,
go.
Let's do it.
Firefly.
All right. Show me Firefly.
Yeah.
Number
1 answer
Let's
on
go.
the board. There we
Let's
go.
go.
25
Found
to
it.
22.
We finally found
Basically,
it. Oh my god!
basically, you've won the prizes because even if you get a
Mathematically.
strike,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
it's the only way Scott can win is to get that other answer, and if
Yeah.
he does, the board is full. So you've won the
Yeah,
prize.
either way, you win.
Done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fantastic work. All right, we'll see if you can't get number 8.
Yeah.
Do you want to say something cool, or do we just want to just throw it away?
You do what you want to
Yeah.
I got another one.
We got one. Give us.
Back to the Future.
Oh, Back to the Future. Interesting. Yeah, I could see that.
do. Yeah,
Maybe?
where we're going, we don't
I
need
love
caddies.
the pinball.
Yeah, exactly.
I've been trying to think of what pinball games are out there because I feel like they're tied together. If you want to do one other, so yeah, Back to the Future is a great one.
Interesting.
All right.
It's-
All right.
Do it.
Go ahead.
Show me Back to the Future. No.
Oh.
I think that's an awesome guess, and just hearing
Yeah.
it guessed is like, yeah, you could totally do like your ball has to pass through 3 different areas: 1985,
Yeah.
1885,
Mm.
20,
that'd be
whatever. Yeah.
Like,
You got to hit it back of a train and let it like get to 88 miles per hour.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just lends itself to to it. Surprisingly, Back to the Future not even guessed or not even answered as a suggestion in the quiz. It's amazing. Like, how is that one totally missed?
I'm surprised by that as well.
Yeah.
Golly.
All right, last answer. If I hope I'm right. Let's go the Alien universe. I want to I want a ball to go right out of somebody's chest. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's smart. Oh, that's
Like,
good. I like
it
that.
goes into an egg and then comes out somebody's chest on the other side.
Yes. I love that idea.
Perfect. All right, show me Alien.
Damn it.
Yeah, missed opportunity, folks. Number
Yeah.
12. It
Right.
almost even got you a bonus guess. Let's look at the rest of these and see what's missing here. Number 8. Game of Thrones.
wow.
Oh, yeah, because it is kind of it is.
Yeah, the
hilarious.
opening sequence kind of feels like it would be a perfect.
I never guessed.
I got so shy about doing more fantasy that I just left one on
Yeah.
the
There
table.
really is only those
Makes
two
sense.
fantasy things among all of the other sci-fi. So
Yeah.
I can see why. Number 11. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy would have
yes,
gotten you a
always.
free guess.
Poop.
There's so many ways you can go with that.
thought
Doctor
of
Who
that
is
one.
number 13. Oh yeah.
Doctor Who.
Farscape, Babylon 5, Fallout would be a great one. Silo, Cyberpunk, Dungeon Crawler Carl. Several people put Stranger Things.
That's a
Spaceballs.
Hootie 42 answers with the Dungeon Crawler Carl, if I had to guess. That guy loves it.
Probably, and Amy.
Yeah.
Wheel of Time, Guardians of the Galaxy. The only Marvel thing that came up was Guardians of the Galaxy, but I could totally see it. Mass Effect, Predator, The Hobbit, The Orville, Dark Tower, Arcane/League of Legends, Discworld. I guess that's Discworld, Dungeons and Dragons, Event Horizon, Fringe. Interesting. Labyrinth,
Horizon.
Mandalorian, Neverending Story, Percy Jackson, Red Dwarf, The Black Hole, The Twilight Zone. A great answer right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Among Us, 2001: A Space Odyssey, Tron, Buffy.
Ooh, I like Tron. Tron's cool.
Tron's
that'd
a
be-
great one. Yeah.
All well lit and stuff.
Yeah,
That'd be
that'd
cool.
be awesome.
Fifth Element, Fluston Paradise, Galaxy Quest, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Jaws, Krull, Lost. Let's see, Mario.
It's Mario.
There's some great ones in here. Planet of the Apes, Quantum Leap.
The good news is there is a Mario Golf now.
That's
Yeah,
true.
there
Yeah.
is. There
a
is.
bunch of
Yeah.
them. They're all good.
Rick and Morty, Sandman, Speed Racer.
Go
let's
Speed
see.
Racer.
The Brave Little Toaster. One person put.
Why not?
There's our little Joker answer there.
Yep.
Tremors. Good people in the chat room are suggesting Tremors, which is great. Wizard of Oz, I think, is an excellent choice.
Yeah.
I can see that.
And X-Files.
Nobody did Indiana Jones and the
No, isn't that crazy? Like,
Yeah.
again, you think of the train, and you could have such a great, just with the beginning of Last Crusade, you could have a great,
Got some
great
you
miniature
shoot something
golf
with some umbrellas.
right. Or you have something in there where the ball goes onto a little platform that's on a vine, and it swings across and leaves your ball on the other side. I mean, there's so many things you could do.
Pass me the ball, I'll pass you the club. I don't know.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
yeah.
I like the idea of Event Horizon because I feel like that whenever I play mini golf, like I'm slowly going insane. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and you're like Sam Neill at the end with all that cracked up skin and everything. Ooh, man.
Yes. Exactly how I
Gouging his
look at
eyes out.
At the 18th hole of the mini golf, they don't go to 18 holes, do they? Oh my God!
No.
Please tell me they don't.
But by the way, I'm going to make a strong statement here. I think that the only good movie that Paul W.S. Anderson ever made, not the other Paul Anderson, but the W.S. Anderson guy, the only good movie he made was Event Horizon. All his other movies kind of suck, but that movie, freaking great. Love it. Space horror, baby. It's one of my favorite things. All right. Well done. You know what that means?
Congratulations.
It means you've won and I lose. But today was a close fight and it felt real good. Brian's going to get you these codes. Juniper, it's always a pleasure having you on, man. How do you feel about your big win?
Yay.
Yeah.
I love it. That's why I love Juniper.
Pure Juniper fashion right there.
I'll bet it's very early wherever you are.
Yeah. Sure sounds like it.
Wake up anybody. Yay.
Hey, Dunaway, guess what? This weekend, you and I are having a little show of our own. You want to tell the fine folks what we're working on?
Absolutely. We're going to talk about that Wario Land because Nintendo is going to be kind enough to give us on Valentine's Day. For some reason, Wario, he's done a couple of releases on Valentine's Day, and Nintendo Online is bringing us the Game Boy Advance version of Wario Land 4 back for consumption. And we're going to cover the ones that were on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Advance.
Yeah, and that Advance game 4 is one of the greatest ever. It's so good.
It is.
I can't wait to talk about it.
I got a strong argument for 3 though.
That's because you're
simple.
That's because you're weird. That's because you're weird, and we'll discuss that.
3.
Yeah,
but there is they came out with the version, the Ultimate Advance Wars that compiles all of the.
Oh, you're thinking of you're thinking of something else. We're talking about the Wario games. Wario.
Why was I thinking you were talking about Advance Wars?
I
don't know. You guys bring up Advance Wars?
We mentioned Advanced, and that might have thrown you.
Oh, we said Game Boy Advance. That's what he said. Yeah,
Advance Wario or something. Game Boy Advance Wario. Okay, that's what I was hearing. I was like,
I was hearing War.
Cool. You know what? Advance Wars.
You know what would be great is if Advance Wars had Wario in it. That would be amazing.
Ooh. Or Wario had Advance Wars. By the way, I was busy getting game codes to Juniper.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. But that'll be this weekend, Friday, 1:30 p.m. Mountain Time. Go to frogpants.com/playretro for more details. Brian Dunaway, kiss our butts.
No, you.
That's how that's supposed to go. It worked good.
Yeah. Like a beige on aerolite is what that was.
It's close.
We bring up something that we're not even talking about.
Well, you also made me want to play more Advance Wars. I love that series so much.
I'm telling you, man, that the Switch I need to pick up. I need to see if it's cheap. That the Switch compendium of all of the Advance Wars games.
Yeah, what they call that? Reboot Camp or something,
Wars. Yeah, something like that.
It's basically 1 and 2 in one package or whatever. Right. I mean, I could just emulate the ones, but I kind of do want to play the new one. I want to play the nice new graphics. Anyway, we're going to take a break. When we come back, Tom Merritt will be here, and after that, we got recommendals. Nicole's with us today. No Randy's got a work thing. Band meeting. So that's all coming up after this song break that Brian brought.
Oh my God. I have listened to today's song about a dozen times. I'm loving this track. And that's not exaggeration. That's not hyperbole. This is such a great song. And those of you listen live, I strongly encourage you to go check this thing out. I think you can find it on YouTube. The band is called Lights. This is a brand new track that captures both defiance and acceptance. This is the second release from their forthcoming studio album, A6, which comes out May 2nd. That's a lot to take in. The album is called A6. The date it comes out is May 2nd. Make sure you keep those separate. If you're at all a fan of Courtney Barnett, there's a very Courtney Barnett feel to this song, which is great. I love it. The song is called Alive Again. Here is the band, Lights.
You must stir the ingredients in your chocolate cake. To stir is to mix food materials with a circular motion to secure a uniform consistency.
A spawn beetle.
And we returned. I forgot to unmute again. Hey, we're back from the song, and I'd sure like to know who that was one more time so I know how to seek him out.
Absolutely. The band is called Lights, and their new album coming out May 2nd is called A6. That's the second single. It's called Alive Again. Again, the band is called Lights.
Nice. Been some real bangers lately in the middle.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'm loving that track. I've really just had it on repeat all morning. I totally dig it.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
That except for when I had to listen to Dunaway's weird elevator screamo song. It wasn't really screamo, just had some Cookie Monster vocals in it.
Yeah, he has an appetite for that occasionally. He likes that.
He does.
I don't know. I don't know where that came from, but he likes them. I'm not here to judge too much, but let's just say you're a little weird, Dunaway. All right, let's do this right now.
Isn't technology wonderful?
It sure can be. All right, I'm not going to say it always is, but a lot of the times it's pretty wonderful. And Tom Merritt is here to remind us how wonderful. Tom, how you doing?
I'm glad I have a wonderful story for you today.
Oh, good. Really? Good. Okay, that's exciting. Yeah. Sorry for the delay. We went very long with our game today and realized that, you're a busy man. You got things to do, so I'm glad we got you on here.
I don't blame you. I blame Dunaway.
Yeah, blame Dunaway. Always blame Dunaway.
It definitely was his fault. Yeah,
we
can all agree.
Yeah,
as long as he's not here to defend himself anymore.
Exactly.
Right.
We've shortened it to BD. So anytime you need to just blame him, just say BD. We're good to go.
For Brian or blame. Either
yeah,
way.
of course. Tom's here, of course, from the Daily Tech News Show. Each and every day, he's always scouring for the greatest and latest in tech news, covering it for all of us to hear and witness. What's going on today? What's the big story?
2 good Apple stories.
Whoa!
Positive, like we love Apple today. Oh, good.
You know, I think, except that I can't do it because it's on Apple, even Android people might like these stories.
Wow.
First one is that you can now merge your purchases from a secondary Apple account into the main account. This may not affect a lot of people, but it's certainly something Apple didn't have to do. You can log in to iCloud on the account you want to merge to, and then log into your media and purchases on a secondary account, and then move it all. Your movies, your TV shows, your apps, subscriptions, whole ball of wax can go to that main account.
It's no longer on the other one, though. It's not like sharing. You're literally moving it.
You have to have sharing off to do this.
Okay.
You also, there's a few other stipulations in here. You have to have 2-factor authentication on. You obviously have to know the login, email address, and phone number of both accounts that are associated. But yeah, you can then take and if you've had 2 accounts, or maybe like I was thinking, my mom died a couple of years ago. I could merge her stuff over into my own account. But as long as you have access to both accounts, you can merge all those purchases over, and then everything is on the main account. And then if you need to close that secondary account, I know a lot of people ran into this because they just, for whatever reason, created 2 Apple accounts over the years, and were like, now I got these purchases over on this old account, but I have this new account over here. So it's a solving for that.
It's interesting because there's also been a push for services. It's mostly, I feel like it's always been aimed at like Meta and Twitter and other places where you've got
migration.
Migration, especially for the deceased, or you don't always know or whatever. So every year something will pop up for some old friend of mine who passed away, and it'll say, let them know you're wishing them a happy birthday. I'm like, what are we doing here? It seems terrible. So that's usually where I think of this problem needing a solution, but I hadn't really thought about this. In case of your digital locker, your place where you've got your movies and your music and your whatever it is that you've collected over the years, and if that person passes away, that's a great use case for this. Not just that, I want their stuff. Yeah, if you have their you got to have their login, but it means it's not just out there stuck in a loop you have no control over potentially. And I don't know, it's a nice move. I kind of wish everybody would do something like this.
Yeah, it was sort of unexpected. Nobody was pressuring. There wasn't like a social media campaign or anything. Apple just did this, and the other one's even more wide ranging. Apple is partnering with Brigham and Women's Hospital. They're a Harvard affiliate, the research hospital, to study the effects of your data on your health. So not the effect of like what you watching social media so much as like, let's see what we actually know based on the data that devices collect. Now, obviously for this, it's Apple devices. It's your AirPods, your watch, your phone, but you can contribute your health data to this study anonymously. They don't try to identify you, and then they will look to see, okay, what does this data tell us? What can we actually legitimately say? Oh, based on this heart rate data, we know this about your health. This is something you should look at. This is something that you shouldn't look at, or maybe it's a false positive. And even bigger connections, like what effect does your sleep have on your heart health? What effect does your mood have on your oxygen levels? Those sorts of things, to just kind of give people more information that is actually usable versus, right now you get a lot of data from these health apps and you're like, great, I don't know what that means. So this is a 5-year study to try to help figure that out.
Tom, or Brian, actually, you go to the gym all the time now. Would you be happy to share your data like this? Does that seem like a thing you do?
I'd be, absolutely. Especially with the like either the people around me or with the gym, of course, like seeing my steps or my heart rate or things like that. They kind of already do that with Orange Theory. There's big TVs that actually show you what everybody's heart rate is and how many calories they've burned. And it's, if I was a competitive person, and I was when I started going there and realized I can't keep up with these soccer moms and their but it does. It's kind of cool actually. But if it was a regular gym, just like your regular 24-hour fitness or something like that, I think that would actually be really cool, especially if it's like, user B has a heart rate of this right now, or is doing this many calories or whatever.
Yeah. And Tom, you're mainly referring to like research, right? Like researching medical research.
Yeah. So this, you volunteer. You don't have to. Nobody's going to have their data taken by this. You have to go download Apple's research app. They've had this app for a while. They've got 3 other studies they've been running since 2019. And then you volunteer to say, yeah, I'll share my heart rate data with you. And in fact, you can decide, like, you know what? I don't want to share my sleep data. That creeps me out. But I will share my heart rate data. You don't have to share everything. You pick and choose. You can stop sharing at any time if you start to feel uncomfortable about it. But all you're doing is saying, here, take my data and then put it in the huge pool of data of everyone in this research study, and then hopefully you can learn something from it because you've got medical scientists from Brigham and Women's Hospital looking at this stuff.
Yeah, and it's opt-in, which is always important to me.
Yeah, it's absolutely 100% opt-in, even down to that level of which things to share. You can, like I said, you can go leave anytime. And they will be asking you questions about your lifestyle and stuff. And again, you don't have to answer those, but the more you do, the more helpful it is for the research.
Sure. No, that makes sense. You need data for your research, and why not? I actually kind of like this one. I think I would feel good about it. And it's a Harvard related research thing, and I'm not saying
it's a Harvard affiliate research hospital. So
it's not like I'm giving this to Pfizer or somebody, I mean, maybe ultimately they benefit from this data. I don't know, but the point is,
because this will be this study will obviously be used by Apple to make new products. The previous research studies they've been doing have led to participants getting the Vitals app that you get. That Vitals app came out of these previous studies. Walking steadiness is a thing they do. The hearing aid stuff that they do, the hearing test with AirPods all comes out of that.
I just watched an Adam Savage YouTube video about the hearing test stuff and how, because he's apparently been wearing a hearing aid even back when he was doing the regular TV show. So he was like, yeah, I've tried this and I've tried this other one. And he found a pair that he really likes that he got at Costco of all places. But he also says the AirPods, legit good at not just the hearing test, but also as hearing aids with their increase people's speech feature that they have on there. So,
and that came straight out of the Apple hearing study that's been going on since 2019.
Which is great, which is brilliant.
That's pretty cool. I like this. I think this is all right. Did you mention the second thing they did? Or you said there were 2 stories.
Those are the 2 things: the migration.
Oh, they are obviously they're separate. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
They wouldn't be the same, would they? I'm going to transfer all my data to this other account and give you all my medical information. One story, done and dusted.
Hey, thanks for transferring all your movies to the Apple Health study, but that wasn't really as helpful as your heart rate data.
It seems you've watched Dune. You've watched Dune Part 2 4 times. This says a lot about you and your sedentary lifestyle.
And your heart rate is down, so maybe we should prescribe Dune Part 2.
That's amazing.
Thank you for sharing your angel heart data.
There you go. Well, aside from that, what else you got going on that you'd like to mention before the big show today?
Do y'all remember Patrick Beige?
Oh, vaguely.
I heard of that guy.
Vaguely.
I really remember him.
Yeah, I really do.
If you don't know him, he's French. And he is also a tech journalist, or as much of a tech journalist as I am anyway. He covers technology. He has been for a long time. So with this AI summit happening in Europe, I thought, who better, in fact, happening in France, I thought, who better to talk to about it than Patrick Beige? So today's Daily Tech News Show briefing will feature one Patrick Beige, giving us the French perspective on AI in general, as well as what happened at the summit.
Nice. I put on my French scarf that he gave me some years ago. So nice. We can represent. And it's usually around the neck of a skeleton over there, which I promise means nothing. There's no secret message in that. But
I hear that everybody in France wears a scarf that has the word France.
Yeah, I know, right? Can you imagine? There's no way this. I don't know where.
In case they forget where they.
Right.
I've never verified where he got it. I assume he got it here, while he was hanging out. Well, anyway, Tom Merritt, always a pleasure. I can't wait for that. That'll be great, actually. I haven't heard Patrick's voice enough these days, so that'll be awesome. And, of course, I'll be on there today because it's a Wednesday. Daily Tech News Show live will happen at 2 p.m. Mountain Time if you are interested. We'll see you then. Bye now.
Thanks, y'all.
See you.
All right.
So cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Very cool.
You'll need that scarf today with the temperatures outside.
It's cold, man. It's actually so flimsy. This would do nothing. It's made out of you know how if you go to a car dealership and in the lot they have a lot of flags waving? It's that material.
Oh no, really?
Yeah.
Jeez.
It's really thin. It's lame. I mean, I don't blame Patrick for it. It was a nice gesture, but whatever. This also was on somebody who was shirtless at Nerdtacular. I don't remember who that was, but somebody had their shirt off and then wore this. So this kind of gross now that I'm wearing it.
Yeah. Was it during our? Oh, you said during Nerdtacular. I was thinking it was during TMS Vegas when we were doing our overpins tournament because that was. Who was walking around with their shirt off? Was that Brucey? No, who was it?
I don't remember who that was. Which one was it? How many years ago?
It was when we did our overpins tournament.
So first or second back.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was 2019. Who was that?
I can't remember. I remember them walking around with their giant big gulp of Mountain Dew.
That sounds like Brucey.
Shirtless. It does sound like Brucey.
I might be right.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, Zoe. It was the one of the. I was thinking TMS Vegas, not Nerdtacular.
Yeah.
It was the shirtless because we had a shirtless guy at one of the TMS.
I think it was Nerdtacular 2015. Patrick brought this.
Patrick has never been to a TMS Vegas.
No.
He's missing out.
I would love
There's
that.
even a Paris in Las Vegas that would make him feel so much at home. He could probably get that scarf there.
Yeah, I'm sure he has nothing but happy feelings about the fake tower and all that.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he probably thinks it's great.
Yeah.
Actually, I know he likes Vegas, so he would probably have a good time. All right, that is going to do it. Judging happening tonight at around 4. You guys won't be here to see it.
Are we not doing recommendals? I was hoping we would.
Oh shit! What's wrong with me? What is wrong with me? I jumped way ahead, thinking we were done.
That scarf might be a little tight.
I think it might just be the time because we went so long. I think my brain's just like, oh yeah, we're done. All right, you're right. Recommendals is happening, and I just psych. I got y'all. You all thought the show was over, but nope. Still going. All right, let's do this.
Well, what do you recommend?
It's time for us to do some recommendals, things we've seen on streaming services that we think you might enjoy as well. Joining us on the line is one, Nicole Spagnolo. Hello, Nicole.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah,
we can.
I can. You sound like you're on a phone or something, but that's fine. Whatever it is.
Well, on my gaming headset.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not the best
What
gaming
did Mark
headset.
break this time?
Yeah, what? I was real quick. I was going to tell you that there's the Super Bowl was weird because the defensive coordinator for can't remember which team. I think it was Kansas City. His name is Spagnolo, and they kept calling him Spags. And it's
Spags. Yeah. That's what.
I thought that was great.
Mark growing up, that's what his nickname was, Spags.
Yeah.
Hey, Spags.
That's great. It's a lot easier than saying your full last name. So there you have it.
Well, it's so funny. Anytime I'm dealing with doctors, they're like, and then I just say it for them. And I said, I'll teach you a trick.
Yeah.
It's 3 parts.
Yeah.
Bag.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh.
Low.
No low. Like Nolo. Because they all want to go Spagnulia or whatever. They want to
Bag
F
does
it up.
not want to go low.
No.
No.
I like it. Well, it's good to have you here. Can you tell me, I want to hear about these dogs you were telling me about on our text yesterday. Can you explain
Oh my
that?
God. Yes. So, Mateo and I, as part of our medical journey, we have an amazing neurologist, and she's like, surprise, you both have epilepsy. And we're like, what? And it still doesn't make sense to me. But I'm like 2 months ahead of Mateo. As soon as I started taking the epilepsy medicine, I was like, holy crap, I feel good. Like, I finally feel good. So anyway, we're still trying to work out Mateo, and so we both go in, and she has this tiny little dog, and she's like, yes, I bring her in every once in a while. She is a seizure detecting dog. And so just like you can have a dog that detects like diabetes, like when your blood sugar goes too low, you can have seizure detecting dogs as well. And this poor little dog kept going between me and Mateo, alerting us that we were having seizures the whole time we were there. And I was like, I'm Googling it. Can you have a seizure and not know it? And the answer is yes, you can. So it was just amazing to watch this cute little. Eventually, she had to take the dog out of the room because we were stressing the dog out so much because we were having so many seizures apparently. And so what the dog does, and I've seen a few videos of it too, when a dog detects that you're going to have a seizure, because some seizures are like, I had a cousin who had the scary seizures, right? The ones where your whole body locks up, you convulse, you have to make sure they don't swallow their tongue. Like, that's the kind of seizure I associate in my head. But there are lots of different types of seizures, and that's what I'm trying to learn now and understand now.
Yeah, I did a little reading after we talked, and it was pretty amazing. They have dogs to do that. They have some that detect certain cancers.
Yes.
They have dogs, like, it's not all that different than like drug sniffing dogs. They're just trained to A, know the signs, B, there are smells they can detect that we have no idea about that are like associated with these medical conditions. And you're right about this stigma that like epilepsy, people just think, oh, grand mal seizure, you're on the ground having the fit that you always see in the movies and stuff. And it's there's so much like granularity between that. Those happen for sure. But there's so much between that and just literally not knowing it's happening because your brain's just firing in ways you don't know,
I can have one. I am very aware and alert. I can drive and have one. I can, it's kind of weird for me. As I'm trying to understand, and my doctor even said, she's like, you've had this probably for a very, very long time. You're just really good at masking it. Like, you're really good at like getting through it. But unfortunately now your body has said, nope. And you have to listen to your body now.
I assume it's starting it'll wear on you after, a long enough time, right?
Yeah. So I just thought it was so cool that there was a dog. His name was Cupcake. And it was just, he would go between me and Mateo, and he would sit and he'd just paw at my leg like, hey, seizure, seizure. And then every once in a while he'd go, bark, like, seizure. And then he'd go over to Mateo and do the same thing.
Oh, at least it's that's awesome that it's a thing, but also I'm so happy Mateo, like, you're Gen X like us. They didn't know about this stuff back then. We were just kind of getting our heads around it. If you saw a guy have a full-on grand mal on a bus, well, you can call it a seizure, but you see somebody else who's just not sure why things aren't working out right, and it turns out they've got all these like electrical mishaps happening in their head. Like,
sometimes it's just a matter of like a space out, like.
Yeah.
As a kid, I could zone. I have the really. I've never really thought of it, but they would call me space out because I could just zone into something, like focus. Like I can hyper focus. Yeah. And there's like parts of that's kind of related to seizures, and like it's all just fascinating. I'm still in the very early stages of understanding, and it's hereditary. And so she's like, she looked at Mateo's EEG. She's like, yep, same thing. So
and they checked your daughter or no? They've talked. She showing no signs?
We haven't checked Ava yet. She's not having any issues, but my brother also has an autoimmune condition. His attacked his thyroid, So, and it is possible that there's something going on there too. So it's just a matter of, you just kind of, you live your life, you do your thing, do what you can. And, I'm just listening to my body more, even though my brain says, nah, you can go to, Sam's Club and do groceries, and you can do the kids Girl Scout thing, and you can do all those things. I have to say, for Gen X, this is hard.
Yeah, we don't like being told we can't do stuff.
We can't do stuff, and I need help.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I need help.
I don't know
It's
why our
hard.
generation is like that, but we're just very stubborn that way.
Because we're just used to handling it ourselves.
Exactly. We were told to be independent, fix it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to come fix it. You fix it. And I know it can swing too far the other direction, but I wouldn't have minded just a little bit of like middle ground there, just like.
Yeah, and that's what I'm doing. And so if you're listening to this and you're identifying with kind of being a hyper independent person, that's not a good thing. I'm going through therapy right now. I have a really good therapist right now that I have been kind of talking to her about that, and yeah, it's just what I'm going through right now, and it's just kind of. I'll send you some videos of some of these dogs, but the dogs are amazing. So, and there's actually a place in St. Louis. Of course, Mateo, the first thing he does, he's Googling what are the best dogs for seizure detection, because this kid wants a Shiba Inu like you wouldn't believe, but then he learned that Shiba Inus usually have seizures.
Oh, shit.
So I'm like, that dog probably won't work.
Yeah. You'll have to be the seizure detector for the dog. You guys have to swap places. You can't train Lumpy or whatever your dog's name is. I forgot the name of the dog.
We
Dougie?
might be.
Dougie.
Dougie.
Dougie's no help. Yeah, Dougie.
Dougie, I don't want Dougie near me.
No.
Dougie,
Like the moon, Dougie do what Dougie do.
Now, Abby, I believe she already has it in her. When I am not well, she knows it.
Yeah.
And she will come and lay down on me.
Yeah, I get that. We have a dog like that too. It's pretty great, actually.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of, I've been gone for how many weeks have I been gone?
Well, you were here last week, right?
No.
It's been
week before that. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Wasn't too long ago.
I think it's
been 3 weeks.
Has
I think
it?
it's been 3 weeks.
I'd have to look back and see.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
My sense, I need a dog to help me remind me what time it is.
Yeah. 2 weeks ago it was just you and me, Scott, on the 29th.
Oh, yeah. And then Randy last week, and then you had an extra, and then you're right.
It's been even longer. Yeah. The last recommendal we got from Nicole was December 18th, red one.
Oh, wow.
December 18th? Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I didn't even do any of January?
No, I'm not seeing you listed for any of January. I'm sorry. The
holdovers.
You did on
Yeah.
January.
Oh, okay.
And
I knew I wasn't going too crazy.
That was when I was really weepy. I find that steroids make me very emotional.
Yeah.
And that's part of my I have 2 parts going on. I have, the epilepsy part, and then I also have the autoimmune encephalitis that is trying to be treated right now. And that is done with a procedure called IVIG. And if you see me on my Instagrams, I'm like, all right, I'm here for 12 hours. Please send me funny things.
Yeah.
Well, as long as it's not making you roid rage and, destroy public property, you'll be okay.
Gosh.
Can you imagine? I'd be like, whoa. But it does give me a false sense of energy.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It does. Yeah. I remember doing steroids for that stupid thing on my neck, and they had me doing some intravenous stuff, and it made me feel like I could pick up a car and throw it across the room or across the street. And of course I can't do that. I'm not going to be able to do that. But you always had this feeling of like, give me something big to throw.
Well, for me, it's my brain. It gives me this sense of I can do anything I think of, and I have so many ideas and what I want to do, whether it's a house project or whatever. So I know we're spending too much time on me, but yeah.
Well, it's a good check-in. It's been a few weeks, so we don't mind checking in.
It's been a few weeks.
Yeah.
So I did have a good recommendal, but it's kind of depressing. So I wanted to go with more of a lighthearted recommendal this week, and maybe we'll do the more depressing one the week after.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for your recommendal today because
same here. Yeah. I think we all have an appreciation for the subject matter in particular.
We do.
Yes.
Well, Brian, let's start with yours as we do in our tradition. We got a clip here that is all set up. Just give us a little setup. What do you got?
Yeah, you're gonna recognize this guy's voice immediately. He's our Green Goblin, and he is just about the one person in the movie I'm recommending.
When I was a kid, my teacher asked, "What are the 3 things I would save from my house if it were on fire?" I answered, my sketchbook, my AC/DC album, and my cat Groucho. I didn't mention my parents or my sister. Of course, most of the other kids did. Does that make me a bad person? My cat died. I lent that AC/DC album to a guy named Kojo, and I never saw it again. But the sketchbook, I kept.
Oh, I know. Is this The Lighthouse?
Cats die.
No. Oh, hell no.
Music fades.
He'd be talking like this, you see.
Exactly.
But art is for keeps.
I know you've said it in our shared discussion, but I'd forgotten. I don't know what this is. And I love him.
A couple of people in the chat room have gotten it. This is a movie called Inside. And
someone said Pickle Hustle. And
someone
I was
did say Pickle Hustle.
What the hell is that movie?
Is there a movie called Pickle Hustle?
I don't know, but I'm putting it on my list of things to watch, things to look for.
Dude.
This is, like you said, it's a movie called Inside, starring Willem Dafoe as almost the only human being you see in this film. You do see other people, and there's reasons you do, but he plays an art thief who sneaks in, climbs into a penthouse apartment to steal some artwork. And in tripping the security system or trying to disable the security system, he locks down the apartment in a way that is like an escape room, basically, where it is. The doors cannot be opened. The windows cannot be broken. The everything. So he is trapped in this apartment, and who knows when the owners are going to come back, if they come back. So he, it basically. Oh, and as he's tripping the security system, it also screws with the thermostat, which goes from blazingly hot to ice cold every few hours, back and forth. There's little food in the fridge. The water isn't working. Basically,
dude, it sounds like a trap.
It kind of sounds like a trap, doesn't it?
And it also sounds like a movie trailer that I just watched, where it's a car and the guy gets in the car to steal it, and they lock the car down.
No, that was actually somebody's TikTok video of breaking into a Tesla and the battery dying.
No, there's a movie coming out just like that. I can't remember the name. I bet you somebody in the chat.
Someone will know it.
Sean Bloom. Yeah. Sean Bloom knows it. It's the one with the Pennywise Skarsgård.
Yes.
The Pennywise. I love the Pennywise Skarsgård. That's a great way to differentiate which kid you're talking about.
We got to keep track of our Skarsgårds.
Oh my God. But it sounds just like the premises are like almost identical.
Yeah.
Well, at least in a car, you hopefully will have other people driving by and seeing the car. In this case, nobody knows he's in there. Like, he is trapped in there, and he is. I won't even say how long he is trapped in there. This is a movie that relies so much on having a really good actor to carry it. And Willem Dafoe absolutely does. He's in his, I think we're in the prime of Willem Dafoe, whether it's the Lanthimos stuff or the Lighthouse or the other things. Like you said, you're getting 99% of the film is Willem Dafoe in this house trying to survive. Like he is slurping off the ice from the inside of the freezer because there's no water except the water that occasionally shoots out of the automatic plant waterers that he's kind of trying to drink from. There is some. Listen, I'll be the first to admit there's some bad slurpy sounds in this thing that almost, took me over the edge, but I was able to get through it. Here's the weird thing. So I look on Rotten Tomatoes and it's got an okay critic score, 60s, low 60s, but the audience score is way down in the 40, like basically 40%. And so I start looking at reviews. It's a mix of people who, A, don't understand the film, who are looking for deeper meaning, like, well, I don't know what it's trying to convey. There's one person who says, I didn't even see the film, and he gave it a 1 star. There's other people who are like, you can tell they just don't like Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
But then there are other people who just say this is the worst movie I've ever seen, and give it if I could give it 0 stars, I would, but don't give any reasons as to why I like it. This is what I hate about Rotten Tomatoes. Why I don't follow it. I'll look at things and say, oh, this sounds kind of interesting. What's it on Rotten Tomatoes? And if both scores are low, I'll probably take that into consideration. I definitely look more at the critics stuff than I do the popcorn meter.
Mm-hmm. Those can be gamed, so they're a little easier to game. Sure.
They totally are. And you can get review bombs and things like that. But this is a movie, if you are a fan of Willem Dafoe, this is 100% right up your alley because you get every version of Willem Dafoe, the kind of angry Willem Dafoe, the kind of I'm going pretty much crazy Willem Dafoe after a while, the fun, happy Willem Dafoe. He to kind of kill time. He does.
Does anyone ever interact with him?
That would be a spoiler to say.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I won't. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's actually one of the things I liked most about it. And I want to talk to people after they've watched this because that's one of the things that I find the most fascinating about this film is how they evolve his character. It's really good. Here's the other problem. It's on Stars. I couldn't find it anywhere else.
Yeah.
So might be worth signing up for a free Stars membership if you haven't done that in a while. You get 7 days, and there's a lot of stuff on Stars. I was looking at their list. And it's like, oh, I kind of want to see that while I've got this trial period of Stars. You might be able to find a more complex way of watching it. And also make sure you're looking at the 2023 movie Inside because last count there were like 7 movies called Inside.
Oh, I imagine, yeah. It's got to be huge. Yeah. There's a video game called Inside. There's so many Insides. Yeah. And
there's Inside Out, and there's Inside Man, and there's there's all these other Insides. But the one that's basically it should almost be called Willem Dafoe is Inside. Is what the movie should be called. Yeah. Go ahead.
So the movie that's coming out March 21st with Bill Skarsgård is called Locked.
Oh, I like it.
That's one trapped in a car.
Yeah, so
I like it.
Car.
Okay. These are all spins on like Buried Alive kind of, right? Where you just can't.
This is very much like or Castaway. There was some interesting parallels between this and Castaway that I loved. That just that feeling of like, not only am I stuck here, but nobody knows I'm stuck here.
Yes.
So what happens,
Yeah.
And you think, oh, it's a car, right? They can see them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it shows you in the trailer, somebody sets this up and he's talking to him in the car. And so it's this interaction between who owns the car.
Oh, really? So it's almost like a I've got you now kind of thing.
I've got you. No one can see you. And I'm gonna do some stuff. I'm gonna mess with you. Oh, it's produced by Sam Raimi.
Oh, really? Oh, that sounds good.
That's
All
cool.
right. May is when that one comes out?
Yeah.
It's called, March 21st.
March 21st.
So next month.
Okay. Cool.
Thief breaks into a luxury SUV, realizes he slipped into a sophisticated game of psychological horror.
Nice.
I'll watch this. Looks
we
great.
all drive down here.
Yeah, we all. Yeah, is he going to smile weird? Because I can't handle it if he smiles weird.
Exactly.
Don't steal my car, man. Don't steal my car.
Yeah.
Well, while you're waiting for Blocked to come out, watch
Or Locked.
Inside.
Yeah, do it. It sounds great. I want to see it. I like Willem Dafoe. The weirder, the better. I'm all in.
It's so good, and like I said, if you even just somewhat like Willem Dafoe, Tina kind of hates Willem Dafoe, and I think it's because of the Lanthimos movies. She says he just doesn't look like he just doesn't look like he'd be a nice guy. And I'm like, oh my god, have you never seen like happy, friendly Willem Dafoe in interviews and stuff? He seems like the nicest, sweetest guy ever.
Yeah.
But I get it.
He seems like he's like gonna
intense and rip your head off.
I was saying.
I mean, he does
I
it.
see what she sees.
Whenever I see him in interviews, he seems like he's easy to work with. Everyone always talks about working with him, loves working with him.
Yes.
So he's just really good at being weird. You know?
Yeah. Which is really, that's a sign. Like if you're really good at playing those kinds of characters, it's a sign that you're really good at it because people believe you're really like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched The Lighthouse again about a month ago. I watched The Lighthouse. I love The Lighthouse. It's fantastic. But man, his role, there is nothing like it. Him walking around going,
you think ye came to this lighthouse alone, did ye?
he's like saying ye all the time. It's fantastic performance. He's so good.
Yeah, it's so good. And you got to see him in Nosferatu as well. Like,
yeah.
Got such incredible range.
Is that still out in theaters? I think it is.
It is, but it's also rentable now. So you can buy it or rent it. It's not streaming, but it's streaming in a rentable way.
Not freeming, but
no freeming. That's right. That's why we need that term. This is a good example. We need that term, freeming.
Not
framing.
Yeah.
Framing.
So can I just say, I did take Mateo. He showed interest in leaving the house, and I was like, let's go. And we went to see Dogman.
Oh yeah. Oh, I think you talked about it in our chat, and
I don't know what Dogman is. What is Dogman?
All right,
the animated half man, half dog detective thing.
Do you know who Captain Underpants is?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Do any of us really know who Captain Underpants is?
At the end of that, this is a Luc Besson movie? Holy shit.
I'm going to give you a quick lesson in what kids that are in first grade to fifth grade are really into.
Oh, what's this?
And they're still into it. So I love it. So the author is Dave Pilkney. He was a kid that had a really hard time in school. He had ADHD. They didn't diagnose it then. He was set outside all the time from class because his teachers just didn't want to deal with him. And so he made comics. And so he made Captain Underpants in like his way of coping. And Captain Underpants is really just, it's a chapters type book, but it has pictures throughout. So kids that are resistant to read, I'm like, try Captain Underpants or Diary Wimpy Kid or Dogman. Dogman's a graphic novel. I don't care. It's stupid. It's so stupid. But these kids love it, and it gets them excited to read. Yeah. I just found out Ava, so Ava's in third grade. She was falling behind in being able to read. She started reading Dogman this year. And her teacher started reading Harry Potter to her. I just found out her latest, what they test for. She's reading at a fifth grade level now.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, what? So the trailer is funny. Dogman, the movie, please go. If you have a kid that is resistant to reading or any of that, the movie is horrible. It has Pete Davidson in as Petey the cat. But I did it for the kids.
Not a big Pete Davidson fan, I take it.
No, I like Pete Davidson. I didn't really like Dogman. I did kind of like Captain Underpants.
Yeah.
Dogman's just a little more sillier because it's like
it looks like it. Yeah.
It's
Well.
Uh-oh. She got too far away from the base.
There.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
Okay.
You're good.
All right. It's a cop, and then the cop's dog get into an accident, and they put the dog's head on the guy's body, and all I can think is, who's in control? Like, what happened to the guy? What happened to his brain?
What did he do with his head?
All I can do is think. All I can think is like. I try to rationalize it, right? So you can't do that. It's not good. So, but there you go. Dogman's and Captain Underpants. Yeah, that means the cop died because Dogman took his body.
Yeah. Hey, it's a dark theme, but we're here for it.
I like you find the seedy underbelly of Dog Cop or Dogman. Yeah.
Dogman. So yeah, just take your kids to it. Just, Raven in the chat.
Bring a book.
I see you, Nicole. Yeah. Well, I was kind of sneaking my phone every once in a while. And Mateo's like, Mom, you're not watching the movie. I'm like, okay, be present. I'm like, God damn, this is terrible. But I did it for my kid.
Yeah. Well, the user reviews seem to reflect about where you're at. It's about 50% on IMDb. People don't really dig it.
But it's the kind of movie that, when my kids are, in their 20s, they're like, oh, remember Dogman, Captain Underpants? That was so great. So, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Every generation's got their thing. I like the style of it. I like the weird flat 3D, 2D thing going on. It's cool.
Yeah. The art animation is pretty fun.
Yeah, I like the look of it. All right, let's get to your recommendal, Nicole. It's
will not be Dogman.
Will not be Dogman.
Not Dogman.
No, sir. What do we got here? You want to set up for it or just play?
The setup. How should I put it? I don't know. Amazon Prime. It's playing on Amazon Prime. This is a documentary about someone I have followed for almost my entire life. His sense of humor is ridiculous. He's been through the ringer, and this documentary, I don't know, he goes places kind of like how I'm honest about my illness. He gets really into his, and he's in my opinion, a very funny comedian that paved the way for a lot of people in comedy. And he was pretty groundbreaking at the time. And this is a documentary about him.
All right, here we go. He directed this documentary, which may sound weird, but this clip sort of talks about it. So here you go. Check it out.
This is not really a documentary.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't think there's any such thing as a true documentary.
Why? What is a true
Because
documentary?
the camera affects everything. As soon as you document something, you change it, so therefore you're not really documenting it at all, right?
Okay.
Something like that.
Is it unusual for the person who is being a biography of them? Is it unusual for them to direct their own biographical movie?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Well, I don't know if there's rules, but
I think there are.
Are there rules? Who wrote those rules?
I don't know, somebody knows a lot.
Convention.
Somebody who knows a lot about making movies.
Okay.
There's probably a reason for it too.
Well, because you can whitewash what you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Are you planning to do that?
Yes.
I don't know what the was for.
No, but I love that.
It's a great scream. Really good.
Yeah.
Nicole, tell us about This Is Tom Green documentary. Or is the Tom Green?
Yes, it's just called the Tom Green documentary. So it's on Amazon Prime. I have been following Tom Green on Instagram for quite some time because he left LA, sold his house, and he's from Canada. He just moved back to Canada, and he lives close to his family. That exchange you heard was him and his mom. He's really still close to both his mom and his dad. And a lot of his pranks were involved his parents.
Yeah.
But he started up. So this documentary goes through. I learned so much about him, and I was just, I don't know. I felt good learning about him and like his origins and what influenced him. And he used to be he lived in Ottawa, Canada, and he loved to skateboard. He was a skater, and he found a friend, and he liked to skate too. And then they started a rap group. I know this sounds so ridiculous, but his rap group was like, there's no rap groups in Ottawa, Canada. But it kind of shows how every little thing that he did led up to his show on MTV, which was called The Tom Green Show. Mm-hmm. And that's the beginning of it. It goes, "This is the Tom Green Show. It's not the Green Tom Show." Like, it's stuck in my head forever. I know that. I mean, I used to watch it. It was so MTV at that time.
Oh, yeah.
The internet that was the internet for
Right.
our generation. That's where you watched what was cool, liquid animation,
Mm-hmm.
liquid television, like all Beavis and Butthead, like all of those
groundbreaking
things.
stuff.
It was all groundbreaking stuff, and I just was drawn to MTV in a way, and I saw someone say, "Stop." To like the Gen Xers, stop trying to make MTV what it was to you then. It's moved on to something else, and it has. The MTV I knew is locked in a little time capsule of that time because the internet didn't exist. And so what this documentary does is kind of go through his journey of doing public access shows, and kind of his parents were so supportive of him, and I love his parents so much.
They put up with so much stuff in those pranks and stuff that he would do. They suffered. We're so patient with him.
Do they talk? Does she have any reaction to him sucking on a cow's udder in that one episode?
No, they talk about the slut car.
Remember that?
Apparently, you remember that?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
He painted their car, and they were just like, "Oh my god, Tom."
He's got a lot going on right now. He's got three things this year. He's got this.
Yeah.
He's got Tom Green, I Got a Mule, some TV special, and something called the Tom Green Country, which I think is him talking about moving back up there. He lives like out in the nowheres, like in a farm or something, right? Like a ranch or something like that. But he's having a bit of a revival right now.
Yeah,
and a Greenaissance.
A Greenaissance.
What I loved most about this documentary, so, you're going through his journey. His idol is David Letterman. He watched David Letterman a lot. And you get to see him like have an interview with him. And then him being his age now, kind of talking about that experience and how it affected him. And then going, and when he dated Drew Barrymore, when he met her.
They married, yeah.
Well, initially they met on the set of Charlie's Angels, and they dated for a while, and then they did get married. Mm-hmm. But he got testicular cancer.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And he was so like uncomfortably open about it. And there is one
did a whole song. Yeah, about checking your balls. I remember that song.
Check your balls. And
I think about it daily.
Why did she leave? Did she leave him for that? Or what was the deal there?
He's kind. He doesn't go into any details. He just said between the pain and everything with the cancer and his career and her career, he's like, I survived, but my marriage didn't.
I get it.
And I honestly don't think there's any ill will between the two of them. It just didn't work.
Yeah.
And it goes through some more stuff of him trying to, they like do a new Tom Green show, and when it says, I was never canceled. Basically, the cancer canceled him.
Sure.
And what took his place was Jackass.
Yeah, it's true.
And he paved a way for shows like Jackass, and they kind of give him credit and tribute. But then he gets into, in 2006, doing a web show.
Oh yeah, I remember that brief. Well, I'm looking at it right now. It's something in, what was it called? Poolside chats? No, Tom Green's house tonight.
No, it was like it was like Webba something. What I even Googled it.
Tom Green's house tonight went from 06 to 07, 38 episodes.
Webovision was what he called it.
God, I don't remember that at all.
It's not in his IMDb thing. It's not under producers. Maybe it's under actor. I'll look it up.
And he had a ton of people come on. One of those people was Joe Rogan. And there was just some interesting conversations. And Joe Rogan had Tom Green on later on his show. And he goes, "You're the reason why I'm doing this, you know?
Wow.
Like, you inspired me," kind of thing. So whether that's good or bad, I'm not getting, not getting into the details of that.
But there are other good things that Tom Green did.
I'm sorry, I have a terrible mic setup.
That's totally fine. Totally fine.
The kids are off from school and I'm making do. So
do what you got to do. I blame Mark. It's fine. Blame Mark.
Exactly. It is all Mark's.
Check it out. It is called oops, there it is. Where did it go? I lost it. The Tom Green Documentary, it is called. It's got a "the" in front of it.
That's
and
great.
I want to see it. I'm into it.
Yeah, me too.
I think he's one of the weirdest dudes ever.
He's somebody that Tina and I disagree on comedy-wise. Like, she found his stuff to be... Then there were a lot of people who felt this way about his comedies. Like, okay, yeah, it's repetitive and irritating.
How does
Kind of
this sound?
Oh, you sound a little better.
Ooh, I switched to my iPhone. It kept on saying switch to the iPhone. So I was like,
sometimes you got to listen to it.
Yeah, sometimes your phone has your best interests.
Maybe I should listen to Discord.
Sure. Why not, indeed? All right, well, let's get to mine here. This is a quick one. I like horror movies. I watched one that had been recommended to me 2 years ago. Just finally getting around to it. It's on Showtime / Paramount Plus, so I thought, now's my time. And I loved it. Here it is.
Put your hand on it. Not like hold it. Now say, talk to me.
Talk to me.
Oh, they won't be laughing for long.
What'd she put her hand on?
Another hand, but not the kind of hand you're thinking of.
That trailer freaks me out, dude. I'm dead serious.
I think you need to. So, knowing how you feel about the possession movies, I think that this is going to be a wild ride for you. It's called Talk to Me.
Talk to me.
Yeah, it came out. Speaking of A24, it's an A24 joint. Came out in 2023. It's an Australian-made film, and everyone in it is Australian. I think most of them, anyway. And it features a cast of young, Gen Z somethings who come. I'll just put it this way. I don't want to give too much away. But they basically come across this ancient hand that looks like it's made of stone. And it's got all this. In fact, you see it on the movie poster. It's very prominent, although it's not open like this in the movie poster. It's in the shape of like
more
it's
like a
handshake
form,
permanent handshake form. And but you can see written all over. It's like Post Malone's face. It's just covered in like like graffiti and little words and stuff like that. And so the idea is it's been passed down and through tons and tons of people. And it reminds me a little bit like the way kids in the 80s, we would treat Ouija boards. It's kind of that idea where you all get together for a party. Parents are gone.
Have you ever had a weird experience with a Ouija board?
Never. It was all horseshit. So never. But anyway,
there's always somebody moving.
I had a really, 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 really weird experience with one.
Well, I guarantee you somebody was dicking with you. That's what I can tell you about that. But anyway, so this hand has got, the point of this hand is it's got like some kind of power to let you, the person on the other side, shake it. You say, talk to me. And then suddenly in front of you will appear, only to you, you're the only person who can see it, will be some sort of dead entity, somebody who doesn't exist anymore, and they're kind of messed up and kind of weird looking, and it freaks you the F out the first time you see it. But then you let them in, and you become possessed by them for a moment, and then that person's eyes get weird, and they start talking to the other friends weird, and their faces kind of contort. And it's fun for a while because the spirits that are inhabiting these people aren't so bad. They're just freaky. And if you have a timer, it's like a certain amount of time, and you blow out a candle, basically shuts the door, and they have to leave. And then that person's fine. Then the next person tries it. And so they're just passing around doing their thing. Things go horribly wrong. That is all I'll say about it. But here's what I want to say about it. Two things. One, I usually don't like possession movies because I think the rules are weird, and it's like haunted houses, which is a kind of possession, right? House that is haunted is like a possessed body, and to me, and the rules are all over the place, and so they don't really do much for me. I'm not usually that worked up about them, but this one does new stuff, interesting stuff. The acting's incredible, and there's this who's the main girl? I'm gonna give her credit. Her name is here it is, Sophie Wilde. She plays Mia. She is mind-blowingly good. There's this kid named Riley. I won't tell you about his role, but Riley, played by Joe Bird. This kid is so good. He plays about 12 years old or so. He blew my mind. The only person you're going to see in this and go, oh, I know who that is Miranda Otto, who plays Sue. She's the mother of Riley. And that's I'm No Man from Lord of the Rings, the daughter of King of Rohan. You know who I'm talking about? Red hair. That one.
Yeah.
She's great. And she's in it. Anyway, she's the only person you're going to recognize. You'll see her and go, oh, yeah, Lord of the Rings. She's cool. I like her. The rest of it is all newbies and faces you've never seen. Anyway, my other thing I loved about it was the ending was masterfully done. And it's been a while. Most movies, horror movies in particular, endings are hard. They're so hard to get to nail them and to have you kind of not prepared for what it does. This movie is so good at its ending that it's all I could think about after watching it. I loved the ending of this movie. It was so well done. It's so, it just didn't leave me going, oh, that's lame, or that, I never got an answer to this, or this thing didn't never happen, or that person never, whatever. You got like some amazing ending. And I don't want to give any of it away, so I'm not going to say anything else about the ending, but it's fan-freaking-tastic ending to this movie.
Where's it streaming?
Paramount Plus / Showtime. Either of those will get you there. Showtime and Paramount are the same thing now, so or they all own each other.
Paramount Plus, man, they're showing me that they are a streaming service to keep, not just turn on when I need something on their service. It's like, I'm keeping Paramount Plus going.
Yeah, same. I didn't think I'd ever say that when it was ABC All Access or whatever piece of crap it was. It was all Star Trek and that was it. It was like
exactly.
But now they got some real stuff. Yeah.
You have a few people that want to hear my Ouija board story. Can I tell you my Ouija board story?
Yes, go ahead and tell your Ouija board story. Let's hear it.
Okay. So in college, we were in the dorms, we get bored, and there was one guy in particular that was like into like supernatural stuff.
Yeah.
And I also went through a bit of a witchcraft phase where I was just interested in like energy and I don't know, past lives and all of that. So anyway, fast forward, there was like, I think 3 or 4 of us, and we were doing the Ouija board, and I was obsessed with having a boyfriend because I had no boyfriend. And I asked the Ouija board who my next boyfriend would be. And it spelled out the name Paul. And I'm like, I don't know anybody named Paul. And then it kept saying, haven't met. And that was that. And I was like, okay, whatever. That's stupid. And probably 2 months later, I meet a guy and hit it off. He asked me out. We go on a date. It was a nice date. And I was drying my hair. And I was like, holy crap, his name's Paul. It freaked me out so bad that I just told the guy, I'm sorry, this is not going to work out.
Oh, wow, really? That just...
it freaked me out so bad that this poor guy probably does not know the reason why I did not continue dating him is because a Ouija board 2 months earlier told me that I was going to have and meet a guy. It was just, it was so weird. It was so weird. It was just so weird to me that it freaked me out and scared me. Yeah. And I was like, and I didn't touch the Ouija board ever again. And I was
that
like,
man became Paul Rudd.
That's right. Paul Rudd, famous actor, never gonna get old, Paul Rudd. No, the only experience I ever had with a Ouija board is at a friend's house, and everyone's got their little hand on the thing. And I'm like, all right, what's this supposed to be? And he says, tell me this. And I don't remember what it was. I said something. And then I felt and saw my friend moving the damn thing. Mm-hmm. I felt him going,
yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you're moving it. He's like, no, it's the spirits are moving it. And I said, all right, I'm done. And I went and played in television instead or something. It was just so stupid. But I could see how that would freak you out. You know, Paul, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yes.
Totally.
The young, impressionable age and all that. Coincidence is a powerful.
But there were no guys in between Paul. Like that was it. And it just kind of, I was like, I can't handle this. Is too intense.
I mean,
so
I'd lend it a little more clearance if the guy's name was Zenobia McFlurry, and that was the thing the Ouija board told you. Paul's not an uncommon name.
I know, but it just
I love that name. I want to hear that.
It just freaked me out, and I feel bad for Paul.
Yeah, poor Paul. Wonder where Paul. Where did Paul end up? Was he barefoot on Abbey Road, or what happened?
I don't know. I cut ties. Like that was it. It was done. I just didn't.
I love this thing. Matuba said in the chat, made me laugh. He says, we threw one, talking about a Ouija board. We threw one in the campfire once, and I swear it screamed softly. I don't know why that's so funny, but I love it.
Gina's got a dress that is a Ouija board that she brings out for, wears it on Halloween. It's really cool.
Fun? Yeah. I mean, it's fine. It's just, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know, you know? Does that make sense?
I don't think if you go to Target and buy a Mattel Ouija board.
Is that who makes it, Mattel?
I think it's Mattel or Parker Brothers or somebody.
Or Hasbro or
the
something
movies would make you think it was some ancient shit in an attic from the 1800s. It's freaking not. It's just a board game.
No.
It's so dumb.
It's Parker Brothers or Milton Bradley or Mattel or whoever it is. And,
But I get it why Paul would freak you out, especially at an age where, this stuff is, we're all. I think that's why this movie works so well, is because it plays off of that universal thing that every kid went through, which is we're all down in the basement, the parents are gone. Whoa, you're telling me that this this thing from Hellraiser is going to bring Pinhead to the surface or whatever?
Oh my
movie that I recommended a few weeks ago, maybe a few months ago, about some people who get like a Freaky Friday suitcase that they're playing around with at a party, and it's kind of like a bizarre thriller kind of thing. I'm looking to remind myself what it was called.
It's on Netflix, and I meant it's like they all swap with each other.
Yep, it's called It's What's Inside. I recommended it a day before Halloween, and it's on Netflix. It's a similar kind of thing. Let's play with this weird thing at a party, and nothing could possibly go wrong.
No,
here's the other thing to understand. I was raised Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
So
no, you got all that great mumbo jumbo.
I got all that wonderful baggage that comes with being raised Catholic, and just
hey, let me tell you.
I'm not supposed to be doing.
Let me tell you a fun one in Mormon lore. This is amazing, and I don't know how many people have heard this, but growing up, I was told this all the time. It was never like doctrine to tell us this, but we had adults in our lives and everything tell us this, that Cain. Right? Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel. That whole thing. That Cain was cursed because in the Bible it says something about Cain cursed to walk the land forever or something. We grew up knowing or believing or being told that Cain is Bigfoot, and that's who Bigfoot is. So if you ever see Bigfoot out there, it's actually Cain still wandering the earth, dealing with his curse. Complete and utter bullshit, of course. But as kids, you're kids.
It's your kids.
It's almost evil to tell a kid a thing that is so dumb and so horse shitty.
Because they're going to believe you because they trust you because you're an adult. Yeah.
It's so bad. Hootie knows. He's been around long enough and same kind of circles as me. That was a thing that was pounded into us. Like, Bigfoot.
Really
no one's going to tell you this, but Bigfoot is Kane. That's
So did you ever watch the 10 Commandments miniseries on TV?
Sure.
Okay.
You're not talking about the movie with Charlton Heston. You mean the one that was a
No.
TV
I'm just
yeah.
talking the miniseries that was on TV.
Yeah.
So I'm going to tell you a little story.
Okay.
Just the way she said that.
I know, that was great. Go ahead.
So Mateo did homeschool last year, and the teacher is pretty religious. And she thought, I'm just going to put on the 10 Commandments miniseries. I have never exposed Mateo to any of the, Jesus on the cross, any of that Old Testament stuff. And he came home crying so hard because he's never experienced any of that. He's like, there was a guy and he had a head on a stick and he pushed his eyes out, and I'm going, oh my God, what the hell did she show? And she's like going, I am so sorry. I just showed them the 10 Commandments miniseries. And I'm like,
oh, dude, the Bible's a horror show. There's so much dark stuff in there.
You want to get parental permission before you start showing it.
Yeah.
Bible's full of dark stuff. You go Old Testament. You're looking for the rated R part of the Bible.
Oh my God!
Put him in a cave and they blocked the entrance with a stone. And when he came out, he saw his shadow. And we had 6 more weeks of winter. And...
But it really did make her kind of re-examine what she was showing to the kids.
I would hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they get all worried. They get worried because they get told that you don't let them watch The Simpsons. And I'm like, the most church-going, stay together, never divorce, never fight, always come back family in the history of television. It's the damned Simpsons. They're in church every week. They're the last thing you should tell your kids not to watch. Don't have them watch the 10 Commandments. Don't have them watch people getting hung on crosses with nails in their hands. What the F? What are you doing?
Oh, yeah. So anyway, that's my me traumatizing my child.
Well, there you go. Perfect recommendal, good anti-recommendal there at the end.
Hey, I just wanted to say one last thing about the Tom Green documentary. They do go into Freddy Got Fingered. They talk about the movie quite a bit and how it's really become a cult classic. If you're not familiar with Freddy Got Fingered, give it a watch. And he wrote and Rip Torn. It's so awful. It's wonderful. And I still quote many lines from that movie. It's just so stupid. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is they talk about during that time, it was Monica Lewinsky. She was treated very, very poorly by the media. And I really admired Tom Green for reaching out to her and just treating her like a person. Like she was launching like a...
Wow.
He did. And I remember because she's trying to survive. So she launched like a purse company, and he brought her out to Canada. And it wasn't a joke. It was just him being a person with her and showing her as a person. And I just remember watching that thinking that he's a good guy. So if you're not a fan of Tom Green, just watch the documentary. It's just a documentary. It's not like you're watching the Tom Green show. So yeah,
I'm excited to see it.
I forgot to mention that.
All of these will be up on quicktms.li for your perusal. So go check them out. Nicole, I hope you have a fantastic week. And get Dougie into those detection classes. It's all going to work out great.
Yeah. We'll do Abby. We'll do Abby.
Dougie ain't learning anything.
No. Dougie could teach me a thing or two, but that's about it. All right, we'll see you next time. Take it easy. All right, that is going to do it for today's show, everybody. A nice long one today.
That's right. We're not going to bill you. We won't bill you, folks, for the extra time.
No, but our judging is happening later.
That's right.
We'll let you know how that goes. This is on the Film Fest, and but it should be fun. We're looking forward to that. We also got a new word on the street. Just went up yesterday. Me and Greg Street sat down with Juno, their new production head, and talked about what the year 2025 looks like for their game. If that sounds interesting to you, it's a really fun watching their sausage get made. So check it out over there at frogpants.com/street if you'd like to get the podcast or the video archives. It's going to do it for us, Brian. Let's leave these people with a song.
Will do. Yeah, we got one that's going out to Rhonda. Rhonda says, "Good morning. Hoping you two are having a delightful day. I'm writing because my husband Chris is a huge fan and listens to your show religiously. He's been listening to podcasts since the beginning of podcasting, and your show in particular since shortly after you two started it. As such, he has this thing where he loves retelling the stories shared and may occasionally refer to you as, quote, these guys I know. I tease him when I catch him doing it, as he obviously has never met you. His birthday was on Friday the 7th, and I would ask two things for him, if you'd allow me. First, to play a cover for him. He's currently my D&D group's DM and has been very immersed in bardcore. If you have anything like that, awesome. If not, whatever you feel, maybe right, blah, blah, blah. Second, would you two allow him the honor of calling you his quote unquote friends or cordially acknowledge his knowing you?
Sure.
I would give him the personal freedom to share the stories you two feel or tell as well, perhaps without me teasing him. No guarantees, though.
Yeah, he can absolutely call us that. It's not a problem.
Call us your friends. We totally are fine with that. Absolutely,
Yeah,
Chris.
not an issue.
Thank you for sharing your life so animatedly with your listeners. Sincerely, Rhonda. Rhonda, you sound like an awesomely supportive wife and partner, and it's just fantastic. Bardcore, I love Bardcore. So yeah, this is a great one too. This is from 2020. You know, this album called Ye Old Pop Gone Bardcore. You know, you're in for good stuff with that. It's a cover of The Weeknd. Here's Blinding Lights covered in Bardcore style.
Well, 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 look at you listening to me speaking to you. Find more great shows and goodies at frogpants.com. Yeah.
Don't go blaming the beer.